go ahead and get this link
Yeah, I wasn't
out
sure if you'd
there.
be able to link once I'm live. I figured you could, but
Oh yeah, looks like we're good here. I'm just gonna pull it up on my stuff. Hey everyone, how you doing? Good to see you.
hey, dude,
Um,
I got Brody over on Kick.
hey Brody, good to see you. Good to hear you. Let me just pull this off here. Like I said, I'm just gonna go throw this in Discord. We got the race what in 10 minutes?
Yeah, 11:08. I had another race go off. I'm not quite sure what happened. I gotta watch that. Yeah, just gonna try to take care of shit all morning. Just a bunch of fucking nonsense.
Let's see, live stream
Every day.
info. Yeah, it's something every day. It won't even let me post in live stream stuff, so I'm just gonna put it in general, which is fine. Let's see here.
Really? You're a mod? You're the only mod in that channel besides me.
Yeah.
Did I not make you a mod here? Hold on. Maybe I didn't.
It doesn't matter. I put it in general. I can put it out. I'm gonna go put it up on Twitter.
Oh, it does matter because we're trying to be organized, professional. BE.
All right, wait. Says who? Wait, I didn't sign up for that.
Live stream info. Live stream info means that's where you go for live stream info, not digging through fucking general chats. You know what I'm saying?
True.
But all the activity that we have in the Skin and Bones Discord right now. My lord.
Yeah, lots of stuff.
Doctor Strange in the building. What up, Doc? Oh, Doc. I meant to send you a DM on Twitter. Hit me up last night. I had my phone on me. A little preoccupied, but my bad, brother. I'm taking care of some stuff.
Good to see you, Doc. All right, so let's see here.
Alejandro.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so I'll bring up. I had one race go up this morning. I don't know who the hell it was. Too many horses, man. I don't know who's who anymore.
This is in your other syndicate or your personal?
This is my personal horse.
Yeah. That's a good thing to have so many races you don't know what's going on. Hey, Doctor. Hey, Alejandro. Good to see you guys. We're going to just do our race here, see if we can make some good things happen. All right, let's see here. Yeah, for some reason, I guess I'm not a mod on the Skin and Bones.
Oh, I gave you the roll. My bad. I never actually did. I gave you the roll. I didn't give you the mod.
I do like rolls, actually.
I don't like rolls. Well, because I have like different roles for.
No, I get it.
The horses that we own, you'll be able to see, certain forums or whatever.
Sure.
I keep calling them forums. They're not fucking forums anymore, but.
Just like carbon copies, we get it.
Yeah, oh my god.
That's off.
Oh shit. Old Joker baby gonna make a move?
Is this your. Oh.
I got the 4 horse. Come on, 4. Keep going, Jay. Come on, Joker baby. Oh shit. Oh shit. You gonna finally break his maiden? Oh, it's about time. Oh, that's good for the goose.
Nice. Oh, wow. All right.
Beautiful. All right, 1 for 1 today. That doesn't bode well for drop zone.
Right. Don't take all our luck.
Yeesh. All
right. Let's see here.
4 furlong race, short race. What up, MJ? MJ's tuning in over on Kick.
Hey, MJ. Good to see you.
MJ, I know you're busy with real work and stuff all the time, but you want to come on for horsing around in the morning when there's no drops and we're doing horse shit? You're more than welcome, brother. Come on in.
Heck yeah. All right.
Hit me up. I'll send you a link sometime, brother. But yeah, so Joker's Revenge. Starting the day off with a win. We like that.
Now, how much was that? How much was that race?
That was peanuts.
It was peanuts. Okay.
We'll do today of Swamp. Listening, not always. Yeah, it's all good, man. Just figured I'd let you know. Yeah, that was like what's that? $7 entry.
Not bad.
I mean, smaller field, 6 horses, so you spend 7 to get back. What is that? 18. So
I'd take that every day. I'd take that every day.
I mean, yeah, if you could hit the board every day, that'd be great.
Right. Of course, you're not going to.
Yeah, but with this horse in particular, I mean, it's the first time I ran him at 4 furlongs, and clearly he liked it. So we'll take it. But yeah, we have our syndicate horse is coming up here at 11:08, 11:06. Sorry. again, 6-horse field, not a massive field.
And this is what we have for drop zone. Okay, so we got 6.
This is
now,
drop zone, yeah.
Now people cannot enter now, right? Like you got until the hour
Nope.
before.
An hour and 10 minutes before, I believe, yeah.
Okay. Is there a reason why no last minute? What is there? Somebody could trick the system? Is that what the...
Well, it's just to allow time for wagering and picks and all that shit.
Okay.
Brody says, hey, good morning, y'all. What up, Brody?
Hey, everyone who I can't see because I'm just seeing YouTube stuff, but good to see everyone. Good to hear everyone.
Yeah, Kick Chat doesn't populate.
It doesn't populate
in the StreamYard. Yeah.
I guess I could pull that up. I have it on here. I think it's on my phone.
Yeah, and I typically just leave it open out the window. Like, you'll learn from back in the day. It's always like learn how to kind of read the chat and also kind of like announce it. Because people, we talked about this. People put it on stream, like on the screen itself.
Right. They'll flash it up. Let me let me go on my phone here and pull it up. Yeah, I got a late start today. Finally got to sleep in. Does not normally happen. Does not normally happen. Let's see here.
Phone on Do Not Disturb. All right, drop zone coming up here in 2 minutes. I mean, the competition in this race. Got Nepal in here. Nepal's pretty strong. Billy Baru got an S- in here. He's carrying a shit ton of weight. OEB, of course, has like no stars, but got some wins. So you just never know. As a matter of fact, I made a late night purchase.
Of course you did, right?
On a horse, just on a whim. I was like $200. I'll just grab the horse.
Why not? I'm gonna go pull this up. Let me mute it. There we go. Now I got it. Okay, now I can see everyone on there. Cool. Let me pause this so it doesn't. Will it populate the chat if I'm not playing live? Like if I'm not playing Kick, if I pause Kick, will the chat will start? Okay, perfect, perfect.
Yep.
What's up, everyone in the Kick chat? Sorry, I'm just getting started here. Just kind of waking up in my workout, but glad to see the race. Now, is there anything? I know you can look through that chart and see where everyone is at. Is there anything where you can plug in the stuff and have it easier to see everyone's information, or is that pretty much the best way to do it?
Thankfully, we have a very smart person in our community. A few of them, actually. One of them you know pretty well.
Yes, I was figuring he might have something.
MJ, yeah, he actually made this tool. I don't know if he said, I know he had something in mind, but we kind of like brainstormed it together on stream. And he comes back, he's like, hey, check this out. Is this kind of what you were talking about? So basically, you just pump all the horses in here. It just kind of gives you a little overview, review of the horses coming up. Kind of showing, how average speed, or top speed rather, and average finish percentage. So 10%, so if the horse finished in the top 10%, 10-horse field, means he won. Right, top 10% would be 1 out of 10. So, if he finishes in the top 20% in a 10-horse field, he's, either takes first or second, right? So.
No, that's absolutely perfect. Now, at the hour and 10-minute mark before the race, you can't enter, and that is when they release the names, correct? You do not see any of that before before entering is closed, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I just realized you guys aren't going to have sound for this race because
we've got you. We got the biggest bro in the house. Good to see you, man.
Biggest bro, what up, man? He's drop zone time. Let's go.
Let's do it.
And they're off and running here. And they're off in the Mystic River Trail Allowance. Cornelius shoots out to lead along with Billy Baru. Up at third comes Monothalamus. Then drop zone in fourth, followed by Lonely in fifth. And Nepal going to round out the top leaderboard here as this field heads around the opening turn. In this 11-furlong left-turning affair in the dirt. Track is good and racing is strong up top for Cornelia. Cornelia pulls up here by 2.5 as I am trying to get myself situated. And my microphone is in an awkward spot. As we make our way back to the race, Cornelia still shows the way here, but now joined by Monothalamus and Nepal, as Nepal goes right on by. Up for third, Drop Zone gets in better position here to stalk the pace. Cornelia drops back fourth. Billy Baru still hanging tough in fifth. And Lonely, all by his lonesome self back in sixth, half mile and 52 and change, as this field is starting to spread out a little bit. But up top is back to the three amigos of Cornelia, Nepal, and Drop Zone. These three continue to make their way around. Another break of five. Here comes Lonely now. Not so lonely with Monopolamus and Billy Baru. But Cornelia trying to leave this field in the dust. Drop Zone still hanging there, about 10 pounds on his back, though. And he is at 5.5 to 1. 3/4 and 117.
Oh, come on.
And here we go down the back stretch. Race isn't over yet, BE. Don't get too excited. This is about the time where you'd want your horse to attack. But Cornelia is holding on. But hold up. Wait a minute. Here comes Drop Zone. The elusive Skin and Bone Syndicate runner now takes the lead. Can he hold it? Will he fall apart like an old Buick? Stay tuned and find out. Around the turn they go. And Drop Zone is not here to show, but he is here to show off and hopefully bring home one for the Syndicate, as Nepal now is in full bore here, off the rail and looking for tail. But Drop Zone is known for his wide leads, and it's no different today. 200 meters to go, and Drop Zone could start doing 360-degree circles. But hold up, Nepal is now attacking to the 8th pole. Drop Zone on the inside, Nepal on the outside, and Drop Zone is gonna hang on and do it yet again. Holy cannoli, the Cinderella story continues.
Right.
For the Skin and Bone Syndicate.
Nice.
Holy
Shit.
Wow. That is awesome.
Bro, what is up with this horse, man?
What is going on?
Yo, if you guys are coming in for next month's Syndicate, you can't. This is not gonna happen every month. I gotta kind of.
Yeah, you better tell him this is like an anomaly.
Holy shit, this is an anomaly.
Right.
What the hell is going on with Drop Zone, man?
I mean, is Poof back there pushing a button? Wow, that's awesome.
4 out of 5, man, and he's like unstoppable at 11 furlongs. That's crazy.
I mean, come on.
I mean, the consistency is actually wild. Like most of my horses, they'll do it like half the time or 3/4 of the time, but I mean, 5 times in a row at 11 furlongs, this guy ran almost the exact same race.
You have him dialed in. Drop Zone is dialed in. Everything's perfect, right? You've got it completely dialed in for how long it should be, the right track, you know, the hardness, all of that. You have it dialed in like really nicely. And everything's falling into place. Obviously, there's some luck here, so.
I mean, yeah. Just,
wow. I wasn't expecting. I was like, if we, you know, get third, show whatever, this would be perfect. And no, we actually won. Hey, we got Jimbo Lee Lingo in the house. Good to see you, man.
What up, Jimbo?
We have a winner is the biggest process. Yes, we do have a winner.
I also didn't know my announcer voice was on the entire beginning of the show. Nobody told me.
Oh, well, it sounded good. You're just getting us prepped. I'll let you know from now on.
Yeah, well, typically when I do the night streams, if I have an emote with my microphone and my announcer guy basically telling me to shut off my announcer voice.
Wow. So, how many?
Bro, yeah, man, we got a winner.
We have a winner. So, how many total races do we have?
Total races for Drop Zone?
For Drop Zone, yeah.
I mean, total races 8.
8.
But you got to figure, I mean, the first 3 were like, just thought he was a sprinter. So I was like, all right, well, we'll sprint him here. Especially after the first race, he came out and he was all the way up in the front and he just kind of fell apart. So I'm like, all right, maybe it was just a weak race, you know, try him again. Also a handicap, 6 pounds on his back, you know. But, yeah, had nothing to do with the distance. I mean, even here, handicap, 6 pounds on his back, didn't care. Handicap here, 7 pounds on his back, didn't care.
Oh, wow.
This was an allowance race today, which he actually gets the better end of the allowance. So,
wow.
MJ says, in his opinion, Drop Zone's a very smart breed. Thank you. It's actually one of my breeds. So I always like to hear that. River Runs Red will pretty much breed anything you throw at her, apparently. She's also the mother of Dice Man, who has 9 wins out of 23 races. 9, 2, and 6 out of 23. That's 17 out of 23 for any non-math wizards out there. And then Drop Zone follows it up with 5 out of 8. Basically 5 for 5 if you want to ask me.
Once you figured out where he needs to be, right? That he wasn't a sprinter, then you dialed it in and you knew where he could win. So,
I mean, I just put him in 11 because I don't think there was any. I was looking for a mid. I was looking for like 8, 7, 8, 9, something like that. But there was none. And I was like, you know what? I'll put him in an 11. And if he makes a move at 8 or 7, at least we'll see the move, right? If you put him in too short of a race and they never actually get to making their move,
right, you'll never know.
You just don't know sometimes. So, shout out to Captain Obvious. Jimbo Lee says, hit that like button. Thank you. But yeah, so yeah, the mother on this, the mare, definitely really, really strong so far. Because she seems, like I said, pretty even across the board. Just A minuses all across, and then an A for speed. Speed kills. Speed always wins, in my opinion. Right. Just like in Madden, you want to have speed at all times. So the other stats are important, but if you don't have speed, I don't really think you have a chance. At least not against the better horses. So, and even the horse that we lost with Drop Zone, this second place here.
Right.
If you go back and look at this horse that we lost to Hopeful, this horse is insane. It's out of Absolute Horsepower. Anybody knows who Absolute Horsepower is, and one of the biggest barns around. Shout out to Stens. I mean, 6 races, 4 wins, and a third. And we barely lost to this guy. I mean, this is the race right here.
Let me pull it up a little bigger.
So, I mean, he takes the lead right here. Not in his normal fashion. But he still almost held on here. Look, and he gets caught at the end.
Yeah, yep.
So he gets caught right here. But watch this. He actually comes back again right here at the end. See, if that race was another 10 feet, he actually came back on him. Right. He got so lucky on that. So, but either way, if we're going to only lose the horses like that,
right?
You just don't want to lose the horses that are 0 for 20. You're like, oh, horse is 1 for 25, and you're like, oh, shit, they get their lucky win against us, Of
course, it could happen. It could still happen that we lose against somebody who's just starting out.
Yeah, one for 25 isn't just starting out.
Well, no, right, not for 1 for 25, but I'm saying, but we could run into a situation where somebody comes in with a new horse that happens to just do really well. There's that aspect that could always happen, but it looks like he's proving himself to do really well. No, I mean, you couldn't be happier than with that. So, all right. So the obviously we're going to keep racing. What, is this something where you say, all right, this is somebody you want to breed with? Would you say, all right, well, he's doing well. Let's breed him with somebody and breed up. Take those. Well,
we can't breed him up because I don't even own a filly that's higher than him. So yeah, I mean, again, the normal progression for our syndicate is going to be own a colt, race it for a month or 2, maybe 3, and then shut him down. If anybody decides to go breed with him, it's $50 a pop. And we all split it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that'll just stack and whatever. But like I said, we don't have fillies to match this horse. There is no breeding this horse up internally. Okay. I mean, again, the only thing we could really do for that type of stuff is take one of my fillies and do like a $40 grab bag where everybody spends $40 for 10%, and you get whatever comes out. So, costs $400, but if it comes out an S- or an S filly, we could be looking at like $4 or $5 grand minimum.
Right.
So, okay. But it's, again, as far as like trying to breed this horse up inside the barn and do all that, I mean, yeah, it's really not what this horse is.
It's not what it's going to you can't.
Yeah, well, like I said, mainly because, I mean, he came from my A- filly, and that's the only left dirt firm filly I own. So, I mean, listen, I could always reach out to people that own left dirt firm and say, hey, how much to rent your filly for the month? They do like, I call it womb service, but it's like womb rentals.
Womb service, I love it.
Yeah. I still say it, man. Whoever comes up with that business, just delivering shit to pregnant women, call it womb service. It's a freaking gold mine.
And that's free. You can do it now before he takes it and does something with it. Looks like the biggest bro. He's buying a top hat. Team Drop Zone.
That's true. We all need a
we need a top hat for sure.
we need racing attire, 100%.
Moe's top hat. That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, we're always going to go by what's the horse doing, monetarily, which is crazy to think about, right? Because you get 4 out of 8 wins, and monetarily, I mean, the horse is up $67. That really ain't shit,
right?
And the reason being, I mean, obviously, when you're racing as a younger horse, cheaper racing. First year races we lost, we didn't even make any money,
Right.
So that'll, hopefully, if we keep running 11 furlongs, that'll just start to build, right? And then speed-wise, the numbers are good. It's hard to plug them into here and look at this because apparently this is broken.
Okay.
These charts here, but my theory is, well, if it's broken for everybody, then is it really broken? You're just comparing it against the other similar horses according to how these charts are made. So if it's broken, but I'm up here and your other horse is in the middle, if your horse is just slower, then I don't know. But everyone keeps saying it's broken. They don't trust them. So, but no one ever wants to explain why. Maybe because it doesn't align with how they think their horse is running.
That's probably
so
what it is.
I
doesn't
guess,
matter.
But,
I guess it doesn't really matter. Now, as far as
I only care about the data. So.
Right. Now, as far as racing, too much fatigue, getting injured, are we doing anything that could
nope.
make that happen? Okay.
Nope. As long as we race outside the 24-hour window, we're fine. Yeah, and like I said, we'll continue to race them. And obviously, I can already tell you, I mean, most horses in my barn aren't going to race more than a month. But,
right.
I mean, Drop Zone, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't run them next month. Unless there was some crazy change in, the racing or the schedule or something that would prevent it. For instance, if they moved it to, an allowance race where he's carrying the most weight on his back.
Right.
For some horses, that could become a problem.
But how would you know that? You wouldn't know that until the race. You're saying once you know, you would not moving forward. You would know that handicap's going to be there.
Yeah, you'll know that handicap's a bad idea. So Goodfellow's a good example. His horse is running very, very strong. Second first. Put him in a handicap just to test it out.
Right.
Started off third all the way back to 11th. And that's his best distance where he was absolutely just dominating. So, put 11 pounds on your back. Captain Obvious says she had 192 pounds on her back last night. That's funny.
I don't want to know.
Shout out, Drew. What up, Drew?
Yeah, Drew. Good to see you, man.
But yeah, so you kind of learn, some horses like the weight with handicaps, some don't. I think some of it has to do with the grade of the horse. So the higher the grade, the more weight they're going to carry just initially. Which is why an S- is always a bad idea for a handicap. I don't know if I've seen an S- win a handicap race yet. Maybe there probably are some, but it's definitely not consistent. So anyway, with an A horse like Drop Zone, he doesn't really seem to mind the handicap. He's still kind of towards the bottom-ish area. You got the B plus, the A-. We don't really see too many Bs. So mainly it's B plus and A-. So he's the third rung up, Not too crazy, but someone like Goodfellow, he's an S-. So he'll carry 11 pounds and he just, again, certain horses won't like it. So yeah, we'll pretty much just run him, I guess, anywhere at this point. Handicaps, he doesn't really seem to care. Allowance races doesn't care. And we could try to find some stakes races. Probably makes sense to be a next logical evolution.
See what we can do. Now, as far as the syndicate, we already have another horse going. So if somebody wants to join for next month, we already have 3 people. Is that what we have so far for another?
Let me check the Discord.
Because we're gonna have space. Is it gonna be the same thing, or are we running this at 30 because it was more expensive, right? This horse. Because this month we did 25. I think you said the horse next month was going to be 30. But either way, there's going to be an opportunity if you haven't joined and you want to join the syndicate and learn about Photo Finish Live. It's going to be $25, $30 to buy into the horse and buy a month's worth of racing, and then we kind of see what happens. And you just learn along with me and watch Mo and friends teach us how to do this.
Yeah, so we got four people hit it up with a yes on Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord. BE probably doesn't have the link, and he probably never saved it because he just hates saving things for later.
I just say I hate being organized. That would be crazy. Let me see if I can find it. Probably should have pinned it. I'll find it somewhere.
We have so many fucking pins in that DM.
I know.
Here.
Oh, you got it?
Oh, I posted it in Discord so you can DM.
Oh,
I
okay,
can't.
cool.
I don't have the I have StreamYard open. I don't have the actual.
Got it. I'll put it in there.
Because I'm streaming a Kick, so it says I can't post comments to custom destinations. So I'm like, thank you. That's cool.
You should be able to because you should have full access. But there you go, guys. So if you want to join,
No, because I'm sending the feed to Kick on my end.
oh, on Kick. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, if you're on YouTube right now and you happen to want to join or find out more information about joining the next syndicate for next month, there's the Discord join. You'll be able to type in general, kind of let Mo know what you want to do. And
No, under syndicates, there's
oh, you have the next one already set up?
no, just in Photo Finish. There's Photo Finish syndicate info. In there, you're gonna see a
Gotcha.
post
Oh,
where it
God,
just
I got it
says
now.
just gauging interest. And right now there's 5 check marks. One of them's me because I don't know how to set that up to make like click here. Like I wanted to say yes or no poll on Discord, but I didn't know how to do it. I was like,
Okay.
all right. So here's what I'll do. I was like, I'll just select yes and no myself as an emote, and now it's already
Right.
there, and people will just
Now it's
select
there,
these.
people can do it.
So it
there
looks
you
like
go.
there's one person that says no, but it's just me.
It's just you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go in there. I have no effing clue what I'm talking about. Go into Syndicate Info on Discord. Go down to the bottom. You'll see where he said if you're interested. Go ahead and check that. And then we'll go from there and get you involved if you're interested in doing that.
Yeah,
now, of
and I'm
course-
glad that, because we did have a bunch of people reach out the initial wave when I sent out the Google Drive form and all that stuff, the Google Sheet.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't care. If it's the same people from Drop Zone that come in or, mainly the same people, that's fine.
Right.
But I do just want to let you guys know, like, if you continue to do this on a monthly basis, it's going to become a point where you're like, shit, I probably should have bought my own horse. So just keep that in mind. Like, I don't care if you guys come in every month and try to jump in on somebody's horses. I mean, there's a possibility we put Drop Zone on the studying market, 3 months from now. And maybe he gets hit up 10 times over the course of, a couple months. I don't know. I mean, he's got good stars. I mean, it's not like he's, got, 1 star, half a star, 1 star. I mean, he's got 2.5, 3, 2.5. I mean, if you threw like a 3-star, 2.5, 2.5 at this horse, it could come out an 8.5, maybe even a 9. So people might go to breed with it. If it was an A-, I'd probably say not, but as an A, I mean, people might use him as like a stepping stone. So anyway, the point is, if we put him out there and he gets 10 breeds over the course of 6 months, say, all right, so we made $500, so if there's 10 people, we all get $50. So pretty much, double the entry fee to come in for this horse, right? So
Right.
entry price.
I was gonna say, just like, everyone know that $50 mark is we can't go lower, so we can't like undercut everyone. So people will
for the breeding, yeah. $50 is the minimum. Well, it's actually 60 with the 10% fee.
Right.
But yeah, so you can only go as low as 50. So that's what I'm saying. If you put them up and people are like, well, I don't care, I'll breed them for 10. Can't really do that. So like I said, we'll basically race him for a few months, or as long as he races good. Like I said, obviously we keep racing money aside for the month. He's profitable, $65. I'm saying that'll go back into the racing, and it might sound like a lot of racing, but now that he's not running entry level races anymore, he's got 5 wins or whatever, 4 wins. Now races probably for him, what do they become? Let's take a look.
7 to 10.
I mean, stakes races are only 980 Derby, so it's still not bad. It's like $12. There's really nothing higher we can go. Well, actually, yeah, we could. We could probably go to a handicap stakes race, about $22. Now, again, you got to look at weather. You got to look at, distance. So I wouldn't put him in here, even though I said 11. He likes it, but it's 100% chance of rain. So this horse wants a nice dry track, and we've actually gotten pretty lucky.
Let's say you wanted 40% is what you were saying the other day. 40% chance, basically.
40 or lower. If I'm really desperate for a race, I'll put him in a 60. But and then worst case scenario for horses that aren't doing well, or kind of like doing okay, you could always have claiming races. Now, I don't think anybody would claim this horse for this much, but I mean, with how good this horse runs, could try putting him in like a $800 claiming race. I mean, this is a $1,000 claiming race here.
Right.
Chances are I would assume he's not going to win this, but I would have to go match up his times against some of the S-minuses and like the A-pluses that people would normally throw in these.
Okay.
And basically match the time up and say, hey, you know what? Maybe he actually would compete. Because, what I'm saying? Like, he is a good horse. We wouldn't want him to get claimed. But if he was going to get claimed, you wouldn't mind if we can claim for $1,000.
Right. You'd be like, okay.
But, all right, guys, listen, man. Like, we spent $250. Here we all made $100. Or $75 profit, right? So.
Right.
But that's just a different angle for a horse that might be mediocre. You're like, he's winning today, but he sucks tomorrow, and then do we really want to deal with this headache?
Yeah, because this isn't going to happen every time where we just keep winning.
No, I was kind of hoping our first horse was trash, if I was being completely honest. I wanted everybody just to kind of get a reality check.
Right. Well, you lost that one.
Yeah, well, I also I feel like I'm breeding good horses, and I make good decisions.
You've got the information, right? And you've got MJ's stuff, and between all the tools out there and everything you have, you can make your own luck, right? You've got good information. Obviously, in the end, nothing's perfect, but you've got enough information to make a good, educated guess, which is what you need to do.
Yeah, exactly. Biggest pros at Drop Zone to the moon. Actually, it's funny you say that, because I was looking for horses. Yeah, I was looking for horses for the syndicate, and I don't normally buy horses that were already named. But I was looking through the pedigree, and I was looking through the parents and some of the offspring that they already had, and I was like, you know what? Horse prices are going up. I didn't really want to wait and have to wind up paying like $400 for an unraced colt. That just seems a little high. So many freaking horse. Where the hell is it? Here it is. So the horse's name is Shoot the Moon. It's again 2-star, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5 stars, 7.5. Close to Drop Zone. Different type of horse though. It's a right dirt firm. We've been running a left dirt firm, so going the other direction. But yeah, I mean, Bloodline's good. Astro Nerd. Now I'm looking at the mom going, shit. B- filly.
Right.
Do I really want to have a horse from a B- filly? Most of the time, the answer is no. However, upon further review, I went back and looked at this horse, and I found this little A- right here. 17 races, has 11 wins.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah, you don't really see this too often. So I went into the horse. Now, I know Clint Beastwood is probably one of the better right dirt firm sprinters around. Actually, I think he runs like mid too. This horse just runs, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah, he ran like 4 to 6. I thought he ran 7 and 8 too. But anyway, this horse just runs. Now he's a little inconsistent with the temper, but I spend a lot of time looking like his prodigy, right? So a progeny. I keep saying prodigy. And they win. You know, a lot of wins. Whoops.
Plus, this is good. This is good test, right? Like you're testing to see if all these parameters are going to matter, right? Like the fact that it's not as good as grading. I mean, you have to do it. I mean, if you think about it with Drop Zone, you had to play around. Obviously, we got it, and here's one where you're going through the pedigree to see if it's going to be worth having. You'll find out if it's not, then you'll know not to do that again. But if you don't try, and you'll never know, because maybe that will also be a very good horse once you dial it in.
Well, Drop Zone was a way less riskier of a chance. Right.
Got
to multitask today. I can't even talk. Mainly because, like I said, I knew the blood it was coming from. But with this here, like I don't normally like the B- fillies. But like I said, I also can't deny the data. So if I'm looking for that anomaly, that horse right there might be one of them. So it sucks because it's more expensive than Drop Zone. I don't know if it's going to be as good as Drop Zone, but
right.
If we wanted to get a horse in for the second month, it's probably going to be the only option. So unless something else happened to come up on the market, so I don't have anything that's 1 year old.
I was to say, personally. Right? You gotta wait a month, right, until you can do anything.
Correct. Yeah.
By the way, did you see the biggest bro in Vegas? You got to go to Vegas and see Kid Arcade and everyone. I saw him in there. Looked like you were having a good time. The biggest bro. Sorry I couldn't be there.
Yo, biggest bro, man, you really are a big dude. Holy shit!
Did you see that? He was as tall as the room. He was as tall as the room.
Kid Arcade was up to like his nipple. Did you see that picture where Arcade's like off to the side? I was like, it looks like his child. It's like his kid. It was hilarious. Because you could tell, like I said, I mean, like, biggest bro, obviously his name's the biggest bro.
Right.
But like, I'm like, I was like, I had an idea. Like, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm like, I had an idea he was like, big, solid dude. I'm like, but I didn't think it was like to that level. I'm like, that's a bad mamma jamma right there.
And I don't think Kid Arcade is that tall. I don't know. I could be wrong.
But, yeah, maybe it's a little bit of both, but
he's
like, man.
Yes.
But if he's that tall, I mean, even me, I'm gonna look pretty short compared to him. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I'm like 5. Well, I'm 5'10" and a half, but every guy that says they're 5'10" and a half, they always say 5'11", right?
And I'm 5'10" and a half, and I'm about 5'10". So that's funny. Yeah, so
I forgot
I would be short next to him.
Yeah, I think I went to the DMV a while back. Probably now I'm probably 5'10" because I'm hunched over at an older age.
I was gonna say I feel like I've shrunk a little bit, so as I've gotten older.
But yeah, they had to like ask me, my height and weight and everything. And normally they just take you for your word, but like they had someone standing there with a thing, and they were like double checking to make sure people like weren't lying. And I'm like, yeah, at the DMV, and I'm like, that was the first.
Women are always lying. They're like 110, and they're like 200.
No, not on the weight. They didn't really care too much on the weight.
They didn't fuck with the weight. Okay,
but I guess more on the height.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Doesn't matter. That's funny.
I'm just saying, if you're like because they do, I guess, for like convicts and criminal activity type shit.
That would be the right where would.
What's different? If you're like, hey, there's a 5'11" criminal on the loose. Like, listen, if I see somebody from like 5'8" to 6'2", and I know there's a criminal on the loose at about 5'11", I'm gonna be on alert. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
With the weight, it's a little bit different. It's like I go walking up there and I'm like, yeah, I'm 5'10" and a half, 240 pounds. They can look at me and be like, yeah, divided by, or times 2. Like 120 times 2 maybe.
And then the biggest bro has to math every chair he sits in. It's true though. Even at my height, when I got up to about 260, when I was lifting more and eating a lot more, like you start getting over 250, you do have to actually start worrying about what you're sitting in and height wise, all of that stuff. But especially with weight, oh my Lord, there's so many things like they go up to 250 and then it's like it won't hold anymore. or it's a 300-pound chair. Gotta be careful. You've never had to deal with that, Mo. You're a skeleton.
Correct.
You've never, even with all your hockey gear on, you wouldn't come close to that.
No, not even close. Not even close. Check in on Crown real quick. Crown's been
Yeah, what
having
is
a
it?
ride.
I was gonna say, usually it's at the end of the month or the quarter. We were talking about this.
Yeah, typically the last week of the season.
Right. Okay.
So you can use like the season. Yeah, the season ended here. This was the season. So we had like a little bit of a push when the season opened. Because you can still stake. Like you can still, even up until tomorrow, you still buy Crown and stake it.
Okay.
So in theory, you could see, upper movement going all the way until like tomorrow. Usually it's not the case because most people are accumulating from like this is the close of the previous season.
Right.
So, they're basically just accumulating during this time frame here, right? So
I think
this-
that's where. Can you pull it up from the beginning? I want to just kind of see the overall.
No,
You can't go
really,
back to. Okay.
No, because Crown wasn't listed for the longest time. So this is only when it was
This
on
is from
like
when. Okay, gotcha.
this one was actually listed on. What does this tag into? This tags into. Forgot what listing it has to be on. I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, CoinGecko.
Okay.
So yeah, this is one. Basically, since it was on CoinGecko, but even back in March, you figure, we were sitting down here 5 cents, and we had this little push all the way up to 15. This is when I was like, this is when I was a sucker because like we weren't even getting Crown for like at the end of the month or racing or anything. So at this point, like all of us were just buying it and buying in like idiots. And then it was like, yep, right back down, all the way down to 3 cents, 4 cents.
Right.
And then
Bam.
at some point, you pretty much had like the game, because the game didn't even open until, basically right here. This spike going up, basically from here going up like this. This is when the game launched. So again, the game launches, you get a week of staking, and then bam, off the cliff. And that's typically what we'll see.
Although
here I
holding
just
went up and then just shot up, which I remember this. I remember you talking about that. It's a big jump
well,
there.
the problem with this whole time frame right here.
That was when
is
you
that-
had no the babies, right? With the folds. We were
Right, everybody
waiting
retired their
period.
horse.
Right.
Right, everybody retired all their horses, so we only had like, the hell was it? Like half
There
the
weren't
amount of
any.
horses, or a third. We had like a third the amount of horses racing.
Right.
We were having schedule issues and all sorts of other issues, but like trying to get horses on the track and yada yada yada. But then they decided to come out with some new and exciting ways, and then we had the babies getting born. So obviously more babies getting born, more horses hitting the track, more stimulus for people staking Crown on the track, and then basically we've been taking this ride now.
But now look, it's holding. I mean, at least it's holding a little bit higher than being all the way down. So yeah, I mean, you've got what's it at its lowest there? I can't see. That's too small for me.
I mean, I'd be shocked if we ever lived under 20 cents again.
Okay.
I mean, it tested 20 so many freaking times. Nobody wants to let it happen.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course
people
not.
let it happen here for a moment, but that was a real quick moment. I don't even know if there's a way to set up like auto buy orders on. Like, I know how to do it on Coinbase. I know how to
As
do
I
it on.
say, you should be able to. You should be able to. On
I know how to
any
do it
of-
for main tokens that are like readily available, but tokens that are only available on certain like weird exchanges, like I don't know. I don't know how this whole shit works, so not really what I do. But it seems like there's someone that has an open buy order, basically at like 19.5, and it's like every time this thing hits 19.5,
He just buys it up.
yeah. Because I mean, you could again look at how fast every single time this wick. I don't know if you really ever learned too much about wicks or
Yeah,
candles.
the candles. Yeah, I
You know, but-
understand it a little bit. I would not say I'm an expert, but yes.
So there's two schools of thought. I've talked to people that swear by. They say a wick. Once a wick will always stick, or something like that. So basically, if this thing wicks all the way down here like this, right? Because
Right.
basically it shows that there was pressure. Like people were trying to sell, but everybody was still buying, right? So you had the buying pressure here. But most people will tell you that this candle will eventually come to fruition over time, and you can see it actually happened right here. So
Right.
there's other people that will tell you that, and I tend to look at it this way more often than not, because this I feel like was more of a market variable and a trend variable, because you can see here we're in a downtrend here.
Right.
So coming on this downtrend, right, it keeps hitting its head, but now we're on an uptrend right here. So what typically happens, right, when you have a downtrend and an uptrend, they have to meet somewhere, and they have to, basically you have to pinch, and it usually squeezes one way or the other. And I'm usually pretty good at calling them too. My girl will tell you that. She's like, Jesus Christ, you drew that line 2 months ago, and it's still
Right.
bouncing. She's like, it's still bouncing on that line. Your
Right.
trend line is still strong. When it crosses the trend line, the trend changes. She's like, I don't know how you do that, but it's impressive. Now this line I just drew today, obviously. So,
Right.
but like a lot of these I drew, whatever, going back a couple days ago now. Some of these other ones going back even weeks or months. But anyway, the point is, when you hit this point right here, October 4th, that was today, at 8:15 a.m., kind of felt like there was going to be a squeeze, right?
Right.
And look what happened.
Right.
Now it's off the trend, right? We continue the downtrend. We didn't continue the uptrend. Something has to shift. Like it can't continue both trends. It's just, it's not physically, it's not possible. Mathematically possible. So now we're gonna monitor this downtrend, right? We're gonna wait for it to cross here, and typically when it crosses here, it's gonna do like one of these. It's gonna fake out. It's gonna come back down. Then we hope it kind of comes back up and consolidates here above the line,
And then
which
at
will
the
then
end,
which will then normally lead to something like this. And now we got to bounce our heads here, and then we do this. And I'm gonna leave this line here because I did this a week ago, and I came back on stream and it followed my line exactly. It was fucking hilarious. Every single bounce. And sometimes I draw this just as a joke, but I've been doing this shit for again. I had my Series 7
I was gonna say
going on
you've been
25
doing
years
this-
ago.
Yeah, 25 years, right?
Before we even had TradingView and all these, I had to do this shit by hand. Like I had to draw the candles, I had to draw the closing prices and make all my candles and then draw the charts, or I think late 90s we were probably printing them out towards the end of it, but I
Yes,
did do
see,
a lot of shit.
My
by
great
hand,
uncle
so.
did this. I told you, he'd go on vacation. He just had charts. He'd just lay them on the table and just read them and just go over it, just like you're doing here. So yeah, I mean, if you can figure it out. Now, is PhotoFinish Live, are they doing any marketing? I know obviously they've teamed up with NBC and Churchill Down. What are they doing outside of what they're already doing? Are they looking into anything else marketing wise? What's
Yeah,
going
they
on
won't
there?
normally spill the beans too much, but they will tell us always, if there's something, kind of keep your eyes open.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Ian just got back from Churchill. I mean, obviously, I know a lot of us aren't horse players here, but, just so you guys know, I mean, it's nowhere near the Kentucky Derby. We just had the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
So, like, he's still there. Like, the partnership is strong. They want to know how we can build this thing out even more and be even more hands-on. You know what I'm saying? So, I think the next partnership probably needs to be some sort of, casino.
I was gonna say online, like
Yeah,
kind of
online
gambling,
wagering
betting,
platform where they're like showing the races live, letting people wager through their site, providing liquidity. Because right now we can play win bets, place bets, show bets, first, second, third.
yeah. Right.
But people want to play exactas, right? So an exacta is when you pick the first two horses, the top two. So I go, okay, we like drop zone and the 2-horse, so we're gonna play, whatever, the 1-2 exacta. But then you might want to say, hey, I don't know if the 1-horse is gonna win or the 2-horse is gonna win. So you play a 1-2 exacta box, which basically means you box it. It can come in either way, like the lottery. So you can come in 1-2 and you win, can come in 2-1 and you win. You only get half the amount of your ticket because you playing it the ticket twice, basically. But it's like you're hedging your bet. So coming either way. So we need people doing that because until that happens, people aren't going to take the wagering seriously.
Right. You need to accommodate like people who really are doing like to gamble on horse racing. You got to have all the types of betting that they're used to. So who can do
Correct.
that? Who just in your head, just playing off your head, who do you think might be a good place to do that?
Oh, Twin Spires Casino. Twin Spires Casino is a very big across the country. They have multiple casinos. They're partnered with Churchill Downs. I'm pretty sure they have stake in some online casinos as well. So, yeah, that's probably the route that I would go. And the one thing we really have to get in the habit of doing, and you'll learn this, and you don't know this right now, obviously, but I try to tell people that come on the shows and do like the virtual derby stuff.
Right.
We have a couple guys that come on and do like picks, right? You notice how I keep saying picks, coming on and doing wagers and picks. We don't want to say gambling. We don't want to say bets. We don't want to say any. The same way when cryptoids, and we don't want to say,
Okay, fair enough.
NFTs.
Yes.
It's a very similar idea here, right? We don't want to push this as like it's all about gambling, right? Like this is a skill-based platform.
Right. It's a game.
My portfolio basically proves that. I had shitty horses. I was getting my ass kicked. I researched the hell out of this game. I spent 8 months putting this shit together. Now I got a 41 horse freaking barn, and I'm very, very profitable. So, trust me, there is skill to this. It's not just wake up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you've proven that.
Yeah.
You can definitely make like I always say, you make your own luck, right? And you have the information to do that. You've been doing this long enough that you've earned some information that others have not been able to get yet, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there you go. By the way, it's already in there, but I'm just putting the Discord back up. If you guys are interested, join the Skin and Bones Discord. Go to the syndicate info at the bottom. You'll see if you want to join the syndicate for next month. We already have a bunch of people that are going to be joining. We filled up this month's drop zone. So if you're interested, go in there and let us know, because I have a feeling that's going to fill up too. So
yeah, we already got 4. I mean, the idea is to always get 8. If we can get 8, and then me and BE will basically make up the 100% of the horse at 10%.
Right.
There will be times where I sold my piece of drop zone to Captain Obvious this month because I knew she wanted to get in, and if we have 9 or 10 people that want to get in, we'll do that. Like that's not a problem.
Yeah, I can do that.
I don't need to own more pieces of a horse, right? So it's fine. Right. But the thing is, and again, there is a whole thing in the Discord to kind of read, and I should probably have people start signing shit so there's no like.
So they actually know what's going on.
Yeah, or at least like notarize it. Like, hey, I read this. But I mean, listen, like there are going to be certain horses where me and BE might actually sell our 10%. But at the end of the day, the horse decisions are going to come from me.
Right. Whether
I have a stake in the horse or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we're going to race the horse, we're going to race it, like, unless people are joining the Discord, and I put a horse in a 7 furlong race, and they hit us up in the Discord, and they're like, hey, man, listen, I watched that race. Why don't you try 5? Why are you going 8 furlongs? Why don't you try shorten it to 5? Like, I'm never going to be like, fuck you, I know what I'm doing. That's not the case.
Right.
But if you're watching the races and you're studying the race and you're like, hey, I saw this, we could absolutely talk about that. But it's not just going to be like, oh, you don't own any more of the horse, so you're just going to be, oh, we want to sell or we want to do this. Like,
right.
If everybody wants to sell, we're more than likely going to make that happen.
Right.
It might be me buying the horse back just at your $25 and saying, okay, I'll buy you out of the syndicate. See you later. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could potentially happen.
Right.
But we could always initiate some sort of, like I said, we're going to initiate a vote pretty much every month on every horse. A week before the season ends, hey, let's check in. Probably 3 days, 72 hours basically before the season, I'll put up a vote. Hey, drop zones, new season's coming up. It's going to cost us twice as much to race coming up when he's 3 years old. Obviously, for drop zone, we're probably going to still race. But let's just say he wasn't doing as well. Again, have a couple of options. Try to sell them for $250, get our money back right away. Let somebody else figure the horse out. put him in a claiming race, maybe try to get our money back, let somebody else figure him out, maybe make a couple bucks.
Right.
Or I just buy the horse back. If I think he's a good horse or he's going to work out for me as something else later on down the line, well, then I can always try to buy him back. But again, it will always be a vote-based system. And I will also never be like, hey, me and BE just override you guys and we're doing a buyout. Like, that's never going to happen either.
Right. It's more to keep it the continuity, and also if there's, you got to have one person who can finally make a decision, right? So we can have the voting, but like some of this other stuff, and in the end, you've got to be able to make decisions. By the way, Cass, good to see you in the house on YouTube.
Yeah, what up, Cass?
Yeah.
And like I said, the point isn't for people to come in and, every month be part of a syndicate horse. Like, I really hope people aren't doing that, because if you do that, 6 months in a row, you probably could have picked up a colt of your own, you know what I'm saying, put a couple bucks in your own photo finish account, race the horse, you know what I'm saying, start getting your racing refunds at the end of the month, and your little, they call it the rake, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So,
well, and the thing we want, and I want it too, though, is that you guys maybe get your own horses, or maybe a couple of you go together and we're all talking in Discord, kind of throwing things at each other. What should I do? We're helping you out. It's all about learning. And then, because we want to make the community bigger on Photo Finish Live. And if we do it together on a syndicate horse, that's great. But like, what really is good is just to get more people and you getting your own, barn and start working things that way. And doing this all together, I think that would be fun, and it would help the whole project out too.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine if we did retire Drop Zone one day, and I'm wrong, because one thing we have to remember is, I think Vault always used to bring this up, and he was absolutely right, but I just don't think he actually researched the ecosystem enough to understand where he might have been seeing it wrong.
Right.
Right now, at this point in time, horses aren't going to sell out breeding. Even the best horses aren't selling out 35 breeds a month. There's just not enough fillies to send over to it.
Right.
Right? So as these horses are being born and born and born and born and born, right, people are racing the colts longer, shutting down the fillies sooner because you want to breed the filly, right? That's what I do. Right. And, what does that mean? So it's like, okay, well, we had 100 colts last season, and we had, let's say, 500 fillies. Now we're going to have, let's say, 125 colts. We have like 750 fillies. We only went up 10% the amount of colts available on the stud market, but we went up like 50%, 75% on fillies, right? So these colts are going to start to get used more and more and more. So maybe these A's that I think aren't going to get much use, like Drop Zone, my Weekend Moderator, those types of horses, if you have 3 times the amount of fillies and the other horse is already selling 30 out of 35, well, then there's only 5 more left to go. You know what I'm saying? So where are the horses going to go after that? They have to go somewhere. And if they wind up coming to horses like Drop Zone because of the amount of stars and how good the horse is and they want the blood, I mean, it's totally possible. I mean, me and my uncle own probably one of the best horses I've seen. I mean, that Dice Man horse, dude. You're going to watch him race here in about 15, 20 minutes. That's the last horse I've run in here today, till tonight. But, I mean, when you watch horses like this run, dude, as an A-, you wouldn't breed with it because he's an A-.
Right.
But you also got to ask yourself and be like, holy shit, what if I had like an S- filly? Because most people take the filly at the low end and breed up. But what if you take the high filly and just come down to the male at the A with Drop Zone, or the A- with Dice Man, and you pull that supersonic speed at 7 furlongs into that S- now, right? Like, we don't really know like how well it's going to work. I see some people trying it, but we don't really know. Again, it's all theory crafting. It's all things that I've been making spreadsheets for on the back end and talking with people. And like, I talked to MJ for a little bit last night. And I felt bad because I still don't have anybody to talk to about Photo Finish. It's fucking sad.
You have me. I just don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I feel like I educate you on Photo Finish.
You are.
When I talk to like...
Totally. MJ actually knows what he's talking about, or your uncle like has been doing it for a while. I get it.
Well, talking with my uncle is awesome on Photo Finish because he actually watches the races. and he actually sees like the moves and like the things that that I see, because me and him sit around and talk about it, right? Like, so he'll hit me up and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I saw that move on this," and "Oh, I knew he was coming at the turn," and so it's good to have people like that. But with MJ, it was like we were talking from more of like a under the cover, under the hood type of deal. Like,
Yes,
okay,
right.
well, we're seeing this visually, but if you start picking apart the data, because he builds all of his spreadsheets, and I don't know how to build databases with SQL. I'm actually one of the few things I can't do in this world. That'd make babies, but and again, modern science, you never know what's gonna happen. But yeah, man, it's hard when I don't know people to sit around and talk to.
I'm
So
getting
I'm
there.
hoping you're gonna get
I'm
there one
getting
day where you're like, "Oh, dude, I was digging through this and I made a couple $100 picking up this horse last night," or
I'm already starting to look at the races differently, not just the actual racing, but the boxes like we were talking about to get a little bit more detail. So I'm getting there. It's going to take, it's been
I mean, I
busy
watch every
times, but
race
yeah.
probably 3, 4, 5 times. I watch it live, which I'm caught up in the moment. I go back and I watch it after the fact, and I'm only looking at the squares at the bottom to see how they're moving, when they shift, when they make their move, how strong of a move is it compared to the other horses, Because if you have two horses side by side, and your horse is just continuing its run, but the other horse dies off, some people might think that's their horse making a move. But it's not. Like, the other horse just fell off. Like, the other horse ran out of gas, right? So that's not really your move. Your move might have been a furlong before that. Maybe it's not for another 2 furlongs. It's a long, like, drop zone.
Right.
Like, drop zone made a little bit of a move. A pick selection window is still open here. I should have put a bet on Dice Man.
Can you still do it? Can't you still?
I can.
Close?
I just said it's like put a bet. You should put a pick in on Dice Man. But no one really put liquidity in. So if everybody was putting like 400 Derby on all these other horses, like $5 to win, I would come in and just put $5 on Dice Man. Because if Dice Man wins this race, like, I hope he does, that's just free money. You're not betting against the house. You're not making picks against the house on photo finish. It's pari-mutuel wagering. You know what pari-mutuel wagering is, BE?
I do not, but you're going to tell me.
Yeah, so for chat, pari-mutuel wagering is basically like you and 3 of your buddies watching a football game are like, "Hey, everybody put $5 in the pot. Whoever picks the closest score wins it all." That's pari-mutuel wagering. Like, there's no house backing the bet. There's no money behind it. So if 4 people put $5 in and you're one of the 4 people, the most you can win is $15 extra. Like, you can get your $5 back and the other 15, right? It's all going to you.
Right.
That's what pari-mutuel wagering is. So if everybody came in and put $5 on every other horse in this race except Dice Man, and I put a win bet on Dice Man, then I would get the entire pool.
Right.
Well,
okay.
the house would get their 20%, but Brody says, "What do you think is the best way to incentivize more betting in game?" I would also bet on more races if there was more bets on them. Yeah, well, first thing we could do, Brody, is, or at least as far as the team is concerned, stop saying bets. Just because we're not going to get visibility as a game if people are walking around thinking it's a gambling platform, honestly. I know Brody's probably, his eyebrows probably would be like, "But I want to bet." I know you do.
So what's the best word? What's the best word again?
Picks. You're making picks.
Picks. We're making picks. There you
That's
go.
why it says pick selection window. This is very, very specific as to why it's worded this way. It used to say something completely different.
Gotcha.
Because like I said, it's way easier to get onto an app store when you're making picks and you're not betting. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things and certain buzzwords that, you can kind of like fly under the radar. Again, kind of like how Will talks about with Cryptoids, right? Like,
right.
Bring the app out as a gamification, platform, mini games, carnival games. And then, oh, by the way, now that we're already in your app store, we're going to put out an update that says, "Here, click to link your wallet."
Right.
and that's it. And now you're in. You know what I'm saying? You're getting your foot in the door. So we have to get our foot in the door into other places.
What if they incentivized the new? Obviously, it's cheaper to get in to make a pick when the first month, right? But not everyone's doing that. So
No,
maybe
the picks have nothing to do with the first month.
It doesn't. Okay. All right.
No,
this is just
no, that's
okay. Gotcha.
That's only how much it costs you to race your horse.
Okay.
So a juvenile allowance race, that's 1,100 Derby, is going to be 30% less than what the adult 3-year-old inversion would be.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
that's typically what the first month does. It's racing fees to kind of like race your horse cheaper, so you're not wasting money on horses that might not be any good.
Right.
Which I still think some of them are kind of high, but anyway.
Picking is literally just
The picks are dollar to dollar.
Right,
so
right, gotcha.
Whether the horse is 2 years old, 3 years old, 7 years old, if you put $10 to win on the 4-horse and the 4-horse wins, like it's just that's always going to be the same amount of Derby you're getting back.
Would there be some incentives they could give you, Derby or Crown or anything like?
For sure. They could give you like a risk-free bet or risk-free pick. Like first pick of every day, every 24 hours, the first pick you make that doesn't hit would give you back 50% of it, up to $10. That'll incentivize people to, make picks once a day. I don't know, give you back a racing refund, kind of like they do now for racing. Give refunds back for picks. Okay, we're glad you spent $1,000 on wagering this month. Sorry you lost $800. Here's a 10%, rake back, right? Like I get on my casinos with my slot machines. They don't take any money from me because I'm always playing on house money. But
Right.
if I'm up like $160 on the account, I tell you all the time, I don't really pull it out. I didn't put money in, so I'm not really going to take it out unless it's like 1,000 or more.
Right, unless it's worth taking out. Right.
Yeah. Or I want to buy a horse like Spinderella. How fucking crazy is that? I won $160 on that slot pull. I took 125 out and bought this freaking filly. And she's 5 for 6.
Nuts.
And she's gonna breed some monsters with Joker. So yeah. So anyway, that's how they can kind of incentivize it. The rate backs, the risk-free type stuff. All the stuff you see on DraftKings, all the stuff you see on all the casino sites. I mean, they're not going to change the game of like wagering, Maybe from like a Web3 perspective, I guess, but I don't know. I tell them all the time, just go look what other people are doing and just do it better.
Pretty much.
So. But if you had any ideas, Brody, anybody in Kick Chat or anybody in YouTube chat, man, if you guys have any ideas how they could incentivize the wagering aspect of the app.
Yeah, what would make you want to wager? And what's the lowest pick price?
I mean, I don't think there is. If I had to guess, it's probably 100. It's probably not worth wagering more than 100 Derby, which is like $1.25.
Okay.
Like a lot of times I'll put like 200 across the board or 400. Usually I put 400 Derby win bets, which is like $5.
Okay.
But I did it the other day on one of my horses, and I won the race and got back like 80-something bucks for the win. And I had a $5 win bet on it because he was disrespected. Nobody else was betting on him. And I got back 11-1.
There you go.
So I put 5 in. I got back $60 for the bet. And I got back it was like $78 or some shit for the win.
What's up, G Money? He's waiting for somebody to talk about Vivi. We'll talk about Vivi when they get horses.
Yeah.
But if you want to join the Discord and you want to join the syndicate, look right above. You've got the Discord. Just go in there and go to the syndicate info and let us know if you want to join. And then you can be part of Drop Zone, who just is kicking some butt.
Well, Drop Zone's closed, but we do have...
yeah, Drop Zone's closed, but
yeah.
We have a new one coming up for next month. So
yeah, pretty sure it's going to be Shoot the Moon. Yeah, I am sorry, G Money. Listen, man, if you guys have questions, you guys want to talk about some VB, throw VB questions out there. But I personally am not going to show up on the show every day and start just having VB topics. It's just not something I care about. So like research in my own time. They don't make me any money. So
Right.
I just
I will say this Louis Vuitton baloney of spending $1,500 on a shoe to get an NFT. That's crazy.
I mean,
this
there are
might
some
have-
people. You must. No, I know.
Yeah,
Gee,
just
I'm
fine.
just playing.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just messing
yeah.
up.
Yes, that's why I joked on Twitter about what's the return policy. But seriously, why not? Maybe you can buy one of them, never even touch it, return it after you get your NFT. It's not like they're going to swipe it back. At least I don't think they will.
Yeah, or just buy it and go to resale. I mean, these things are hard to find as it is, from what I was told. So like, if you can even get one,
I guess that's true.
like people
Well,
talk
I mean,
about this money like it's a lot of money nowadays. I mean, it's really not.
1,500 for a pair of boots.
For crypto bros and people in that space, that's fucking peanuts, bro.
Oh yeah,
The fact that I would
get,
never spend that
get.
much money, and the fact that nowadays I look at some of my wallets and I'm like, oh, I could drop a G on that.
Yes.
The fact that I'm saying that just tells you how fucked everything really is, because I am the cheapest, most frugal motherfucker on the planet.
Right, but if you think you could make something on it, I just don't know how well that's going to do.
Well, if you can make something on it, I guess, yeah, but yeah, it's just, And Brody, by the way, Brody doesn't know. He's not really in the BB stuff. But
He's like, "What the hell are we talking about?" Right?
yeah, it was like Louis Vuitton. They got the
Marvel
mashups with like the Infinity Stones.
doesn't even make any
shit.
It
Like,
makes zero sense how those two even come together. But
yeah, they have a $500 hat. I mean, well, listen, it's more about bragging rights. It's not even about whether or not you like it. It's just, it's a flex, man. I
mean,
Do
if
you
they had
see the
done that-
outfits?
yeah, well,
Do you see the outfits that these, younger, like late teen, early 20s? You see the outfits these dudes are walking around in, showing up at like these crazy events, and it's like, this is dripped out. Like, bro, you look like my grandmother's fucked up carpet from like the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are these people wearing nowadays with these super tight dress pants, like almost like hiked up like capris?
oh yeah, it's horrible.
You know what I'm saying? It's just more about a flex, though. I don't think anybody would actually ever want to wear that outfit, but the bottom line is that they spent 5 G's on the drip, and now it's like everyone thinks it's cool because it's so expensive.
What about the guy on Before the 90 Days with the pink shoes? The tell-all? What's his name?
Oh, see, I
Oh.
fuck with the pink shoes. See, now this is the thing.
Oh, those pink shoes. Come on, man.
Listen, man. First of all, real men wear pink.
No,
Any
that's
guy-
okay.
Any
I
guy
totally
who's
agree.
like, oh, yeah, you'll never catch me wearing pink. It's like, you probably been fucked up the ass at some point then, because you have some severe homophobic issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, real men can wear pink. Like, pink is a color. It's a great color. I love it from the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Love the neons with the blues and pinks, and but I don't know, man. You have a problem with pink shoes? Like,
I have a problem with those pink shoes. That he was wearing that weird suit, and then no socks. The pants were too short, and then he's got these pink shoes. Shelby
I have a
Cobra
problem
said
with the
people-
outfit more than the
Yeah,
shoes.
well, I think the whole outfit together with the shoes was bad. Shelby Cobra was saying that because she looks at the stuff online that people were just making fun of them. So and
Listen,
everyone
I'm
has
saying-
no clue what we're talking about. No, I
Well, because
completely
everyone
agree with
watches
pink.
90 Day.
Pink doesn't
Everyone
bother
watches 90 Day to make fun of it. Let's be honest. Not me.
Yeah.
No one's ever hit me up and been like, "Yo, I watched 90 Day because it's such a great, great show." They're like, "Bro, I was watching it, and you believe that, bro, the scene with oh my god, what the hell are their names? She's got the crazy weird name. Oh my god, the one that went to England. She's got the name of the Muppet. Oh my god, Eisler.
Statler.
Statler, yes.
Statler, yeah.
Statler and her chick, right? Like,
Yeah.
bro, that scene where she's like got the smoked the incense or whatever, like trying to get out the bad
sage,
spirits.
Right,
the
the
sage.
sage on her vagina.
Yeah, she's got the sage between her legs, and she's like, "You've been worn out. You've been a nasty girl." Oh my bro, like, I was dying.
It's just like
I was
stick this
dying.
pebble in you that's like jaded. Stick this thing in. Yeah.
Bro, the rock, that rock scene was hilarious.
People are like, what the heck? You're just gonna have to see one of these days. I was talking to Shelby Cobra, and I think she is down for doing the kicks, talking with your girl while we're on.
Skin and
making fun of
Bones,
all-
Girlfriend
yeah.
Invasion. Mark it down.
Yes. Yep. She's
It's
totally
coming.
getting
It's
that.
happening.
It
Like I
is
said, we used to run it on Twitch, man. My old sports audience used to love it. Me and her would get together and just play The Sims. We spent like a 2-hour playthrough of The Sims. Me and her just like locking this chick Belinda in a box. We just locked her in a box to see how long she could live on stream before the Grim Reaper came to take her home. And that's all we did. We just sat there and talked shit. And I mean, my girl's a lot like what I would assume Shelby's like, because I see Shelby in chat all the time, and she's like, you know, always got
funny.
something sarcastic and
Oh, for
witty,
sure.
and you know,
Yes.
if she's not busting your balls, you should probably be more afraid than if she is. You know,
Right. Right.
that
It's
type
true.
of shit. But I do want to go back to the pink shoes. I feel like if you took the pink shoes, and I took the pink shoes and rocked it with like my black Adidas pants, and like a, you know, just regular ass, you know,
Maybe. I'm just saying if you
like a
pull-
like
and I
a
don't know
white
if-
t-shirt, black Adidas pants, and like pink shoes he was wearing, I could rock that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it looked bad. What that outfit and over it was the outfit and the shoes.
yeah,
Together
the
that I
outfit,
don't
because
like.
like I said, yeah, when you have a guy wearing like capris, you know what I'm saying, with like tight ass freaking pants like that, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing too, man. Those tight pants. I don't get that.
You know what it reminds me of? So a long time ago, I used to always a guy surprised. I was a jokester.
Imagine.
We found these crazy like leather pants, almost like some Judas Priest type shit, right?
Nice.
And my girl's my buddy's girlfriend's mother had them in like some storage. So we used to hang out at this chick Rachel's house all the time. So she hands them over, and I'm like, I'll put the things on right now. Let's go out. So it's a Friday night, dude. Everyone's just sauced up. I put on these super tight ass freaking like leather pants as a joke with my my white wife beater tank top. Actually, shit, can you call them wife beaters nowadays?
When my son wears one,
Is that politically correct?
I say I tell my son that when he wears that, I say
I just thought about that. Like, I
Yeah.
haven't called it a wife beater in probably like a decade, and I know we're in a
No.
whole different world.
No, I still do. It may be inappropriate. Maybe maybe Bruin can chime in. I don't know. I still say it. So
I'm just not up to date on how woke we really are in this world. But usually people will fill me in when I go outside because they're offended by everything I say.
right,
But but yeah, I don't know, man.
not PC.
Not PC, not
There you
PC.
go,
All right.
there you go. So let's say it. Wife beater. Let's go.
Yeah, so basically white tank top out there in like these crazy Judas Priest tight black leather pants. And I go out and I come rolling up to this freaking party and we're just chilling, you know. Again, everyone knows I'm not like seriously trying to roll around like this, you know.
Right.
They're like, look, Joe, what the hell are you wearing, dude? And again, I'm skinny to begin with, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, whatever. Then I decided to step it up a notch. I jumped in the pool.
Of course you did.
When that when that leather got wet, bro, I thought I had to go to the hospital. I had them cut me out of these things. Bro, they were shrinking on my legs. My thighs had no circulation. And you just saw, like, it was just getting tighter and tighter. And that's what I think of every time.
You were
that I see
freaking out,
these-
weren't you?
Nah, not really. I was crazy. I was probably freeballing it. I don't know if I had boxer shorts on. But I probably would have just cut them off, like, in public and not given a shit. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
That's
whenever I
pretty
see
funny.
guys wearing like tight jeans, what they call skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans. I hate that. I don't get that. That's because during like the grunge period when I was growing up, it was all baggy and stuff. And like, okay. I
Yeah,
get
baggier
that,
the better.
Right.
Yeah.
I like something in between those, but tight, nah. I don't.
I like boot
I'll
cut.
never do.
At 41 years
boot
old,
cut.
I
do
wear
like
boot
the
cut.
I do like the boot cut.
I'm
for
not
sure.
gonna wear 60-inch, 70-inch bottom Jankos like I used to. I had Jankos that were 70 inches around the bottom of each
Man.
leg. Of each leg, it looked like
Man.
fucking two mini fucking dresses,
I know
bro.
what you're talking about. That's crazy.
These Jankos, I saw somebody wearing them on a YouTube video like a year ago, maybe shorter than that. I was like, oh my god! I was like, I used to wear these.
Yeah, no, that's
And even
too-
crazier, we used to skate. We used to skate rollerblade in these things. And
Oh,
I remember
man.
when my boy James, because we used to do these things like, oh, look how cool I am, and spin around, do a 180 mid twist or whatever while we're skating around. He goes to do that, bro. His freaking leg got stuck in the jeans. Shredded. No, not funny.
No.
Shredded his knee. It bent the other way.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, he fractured his leg, bro. It was
Ooh.
one of the most gruesome fucking things, bro. Yeah. But then I look back, I'm like, how the hell did I ever skate in those 70-inch freaking Jankos, man?
Dude, I got to show you something. I'm going to put it in Discord. Maybe you can pull this up. This happened last night. This is
It was
nuts.
a broke. It was a broke. It was a joke, Bruin. My friend's mother had these pants, and you know, if people dare me to do something, I'm gonna do that shit. And this was also back during like well, people used to really get dressed up and go to Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I would do it. Not. I never did the Rocky Horror thing like that with drag. But like, I would throw crazy shit on just to get a rise out of people or to get a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like
that
trust
I
me.
get. I've done that before. I like.
Well,
getting
we used to
around
make.
people.
Yeah, we used to make skits after school. We used to. My friend's Lauren, her parents would always work till like 7 o'clock, and her house was where we would go to get lit after school and just like raid her fridge, raid her munchies, and we just like we had a camcorder, so we just make movies every day. And that's all we would do, man. Like I had my skit where I was the serial killer. And basically I would it was just me walking around eating different cereal every episode. And at the end of the episode I would just walk up to them with a box of cereal and just whack them over the head and they'd fall down. But I was a serial killer and I would just fucking
That sounds like an old joke that I used to have with that same type of thing. Bruin said, I need large pants for my thighs. I used to leg press 1,000 pounds. Yeah, I mean, if you got like 32-inch,
Jesus.
you know, yeah, you're going to need that. Yeah, he says, wait till we meet up. I'm going to come up with some good dares for you. Perfect. By the way, if you look in Discord, by the way.
I'm older now.
Look in Discord, and if you want, put this picture up. This is what my dog did last night. I know it's completely separate what we're talking about, but it's kind of funny. We come back and we don't leave food down. We don't leave anything that's food or anything because my dog will get into it. And what she did is she got into the food container, opened it up, stuck her head through to eat the food. Unfortunately, our Furbo wasn't recording at the time, so we don't know exactly what happened. But I think what she did was she ran around with the container of food until it popped off. And when I got home, she had that. I had to cut that off her head. I couldn't even pull it off of her head. What a dumbass. And look at her. She's all happy that she got the food. Both dogs were eating all while we were gone last night. Oh, man.
You fucked up her flow, man. What she wanted to do was keep that. This is actually a good idea. I would actually think about doing this. Maybe I'll do this to myself and I just walk around and I can just put my plate of food right underneath my neck.
Right. Oh,
you know
Lord,
what I'm saying?
I wish I had recorded because we were trying to come up with a theory what happened. She's like, well, she put her head in and was just eating. I'm like, no, she probably put her head in and freaked out, pulled this container out of a bag and ran around the room until it just popped off. And then the food was just all over the place, 15 feet away. What a dumbass. And she was all mad. She's like, oh, let's try to pull it off. I'm like, no, you're not going to pull it off. I'm going to cut it off. I can't get it off. So there's my stupid dog. Oh, my Lord. I never got into wearing. I never wore wife beaters either, but my son does, which I think is hysterical.
I love wife beaters because I was so skinny. I had like a 8-pack basically without even trying.
Right.
So it was nice. It was nice for me, even with the twig arms, to kind of just roll out when I was feeling a little buffed. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at a beach, with your shirt off, that's what the girls want to see anyways, right? They want to see those abs. Is this your race?
Yeah.
All right, and they're up here. We now join this race in progress. It's Hail Mary Rocks going to run out to the lead. There comes Harry J. Dice Man at the Bigfoot Stables now moves up into a quick second. Dabwalla back and forth, followed by Closed Loop System in fifth, and Frightened Rabbit going to round out the top leaderboard here as this field heads down past the clubhouse for the first time, or it's even called the backstretch in the 6 furlong affair, and they're all chasing Dice Man.
Oof.
Dice Man, we don't really like where he is up top here. We prefer him to come off the pace, but it is what it is, and he's trying to hold sway, but he's now being attacked by Diamond Dust. Diamond Dust there sticks Harry J. Diamond Dust now tries to advance here as we are running out of time, and Dice Man is sliding all the way back. Please make the money. But as we hit the top of the turn now and head for home, it's Diamond Dust, Harry J there as well with Usain Colt. But Hail Mary rocks, closed loop system. But down the rail now, don't look. It's Dice Man trying to put a move. One final push, but it's going to be Diamond Dust and closed loop system. Diamond Dust, and it's going to be all Diamond Dust here. And hopefully I got my money back on the race over closed loop system and Usain Colt.
Man, I was hoping you were going to show on that. That's crazy.
Well, I got my money back, so that's you want to at least take fourth. Yeah, see, very important. Like
how many people were in that race?
That was a full field.
That was a full one.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That would have been $100 win, close to it. But that was a $20 entry fee. I didn't like the fact that he was in a 6 furlong race and it was a yielding track. So. See how he has 2.5 stars on firm here.
By the way, you're still talking in your if you care.
Oh yeah.
I always care. Make sure I'm not calling a race.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dice Man has 2.5 stars on firm,
right?
Whereas the other horses only have like 1.5 or 2. So when you have a yielding track, it doesn't even pay attention to firm or soft. So we actually got screwed on that race all around. Also got screwed because Dice Man only like 7 furlongs more than 6. Yeah, so a lot of things didn't go our way that race. So the fact that we were able to basically get out of the race and at least we lost like $2.50.
Okay.
So if I can get out of a race like that with nothing going my way and only losing $2.50, I will take that. That's a win. That's a win every day in my book.
Yeah, I mean, a break even or close, I think you're right. Sorry, I just got to take this here.
Yeah, I'm always shooting for like 15-20% losses max on a race. You know what I'm saying? You start losing more than that and you're not winning races on at least one or 2 horses a day. I mean,
start hurting. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely going to start to add up. So,
yeah, Bruin. So, yeah, we do. Mo discovered that Drop Zone would do better. They would get like a second win further in the race. So the 11 furlong, maybe a 12, which is the max. We haven't tried a 12 though.
I haven't had to. I mean, if there's an 11 available until
you're gonna take it.
Yeah, until he proves otherwise. I mean, I'm going to put him in an 11 furlong every single time. But I mean, trust me, there will come a time where, there won't be an 11 available. As a matter of fact, we can do that. Because I do have to head out by 1 o'clock, my time, half hour. But yes, we actually take a look to see what race we're going to put him in.
So we're going to do a race tomorrow, right? 24 hours later.
Well, if we have to look, we can only start racing as early as tomorrow. Like I said, most days you're not even going to find races. You're supposed to be able to find racing every 2 to 3 days. Is like the cadence that they're trying to use. But the horse is ready to race after 24 hours. So
okay.
So I mean, we start getting tricky, right? Tomorrow, 100% chance of rain though. So probably don't really want to go into that race because it's going to be wet. Now we could not care and say, okay, you know what? The horse is, it's not like we're still trying to find where the horse likes to win. We're down $100 in racing. It's not like that. Like I said, we were up like $60 in racing fees and we just won the race today. So, if you take out how much that race costs, we're probably up like $75, maybe close to $80 now. So if I threw him in a $22 race and he doesn't really like it and he gets his ass kicked, are we really going to be mad? Probably not,
But we know why would we do, look for the dry track, right? Or more potential for a dry track if we're going to take a bigger risk. That's what
because right now I'm not seeing dry tracks for going on 2 days. So
okay, gotcha.
So again, it depends on how much are we willing to spend, or do we just want to watch them run? I mean, me and Volt used to throw Joyride in races all the time that we knew she had no shot.
Right.
But the difference is that we just knew it was for content, and
of course,
it was to call the race, it was to watch the race, and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm gonna keep looking. I'm gonna see like what's the next best available race.
So now you're at what, 3 days out?
I'm on the 6th, so 2 days out.
Okay. Sorry.
I mean, 2 days out, we could go 10:08 a.m. It'll be 9 furlongs. We don't know if he really even liked 9. It could be a little too short, maybe.
That might be too short because we've seen him come back at that range.
But I mean,
look, I'm always going to yield to your opinion. And we do have to test it out.
Well, some horses might not even care about the wet track. So I might just say, fuck it. Put him in the 10 furlong, 11 furlong, 100% chance of rain. And just see if he goes out there and beats the piss out of him on the wet track, too. I mean, he might. I got horses that do that. I got horses that tell me he's a dirt runner and hates the dirt. Put him on a turf track and he freaking hauls ass. So, you know. Never really know until you try it at least once.
Can you filter so you can just pull up everything over 10 furlongs? Okay.
Yeah. I typically I would probably filter it at 9.
Okay.
But
we'll do that. Let's see what.
Yeah, typically I always do this like that.
So we've got 40%, which would be good. That's a
grade. No, that's a grade 1.
Oh, you can't do it. Okay, gotcha.
That's an S race. That's a claiming race. I mean, this is, like I said, this is the first race I would even consider, but it's 100% chance of rain.
Right.
Handicap, 11 furlongs. We know we can handle both.
Then
it's
that's the $20. That's the $20, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, a possibility, which would really kind of suck if this could really go against us, but could join this claiming race for tomorrow night. It's $1,000 claiming race. So,
right.
10 furlongs, 60% chance of rain. Could have a good shot at catching a dry track or, a mediocre track. But the problem is, man, if someone really, really liked that drop zone and was like, hey, I'll spend $1,000 for that horse, I mean, we could potentially have no horse left to run. So, I mean, that...
Right, but then we'd have to go out and buy. And then what about that one right there? That you can't do that one with the 0% rain?
Well, we could, but this is the 9 furlong, so this is where we start to...
Maybe too short. 10
is probably... might be too short. So, I mean...
There's 100%, there's 20%, there's an 11, which is 20%, but it's an S.
Right, so this is why I would probably do it. I probably have to wind up taking a day off on racing him. No, because we race this one here. We race this. It's an A. It's an A stakes race, which would actually give us the best advantage.
Okay.
Because everybody's going to be the A or lower, and there's no weight. So if we're dominating with handicaps carrying 7 pounds, I don't know who's going to beat us straight up.
How much
maybe
is this one? 9, 8.
This is actually only $12. It's actually cheaper than the other one.
So why don't we do it?
Right. So here's where we start to have an issue. Can't register for this race yet.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Entries open in 2.5 hours. So now I have to go out of my way. I got to set a calendar alert or a fucking alarm. Right. Which, that being said, I'm not going to talk too much about it in case we want to rip off my idea. But I have a whole Swiss Army knife utility thing that I'm kind of coding on the back end right now. So
okay.
Are you able to see the weaknesses and advantages of other horses in our race? Races that we've already run, yeah, but not races coming up. You can't see who's in a race until it closes for entries. No more entries.
Right. We were talking about that earlier, Bruin, because he had all the information up, and MJ has somewhere where we can enter everyone in and see kind of all in one place the stats you want, but you can't see it until they close the...
Yeah, perfect example right here. So this race has been filling up for whatever, 2 days now, 3 days. And entries close in 55 seconds. So right now you have no idea who's in this race if you want to enter. But if you were to come back here 48 seconds, you can no longer enter the race. Now it goes into pick selection. So people are going to put their win bets in, their win picks, and all that stuff. And once that opens up for an hour and 10 minutes, now you'll see who's in here. So this will change down here. And yeah, that's pretty much the best way to do it. So, Bruin, man, that's what white beaters are for, though, man. Or tank tops.
30.
You're supposed to just get shit on them, dude. Football jerseys and tank tops, man. They're made for just get shit on them. Who cares?
That's how it always looked like on the show Cops, right? They're always dirty, right?
Well, that's not the not the reputation I was going for, but I was like,
Right.
like, cause I'm like, shit, I'm leaving the house. I got a tank top on. I just grab one of my neon T-shirts and throw it over the top of it, and I'm out. Yeah, see how it opened up right there.
And you had, let's see, 1, 2.
Kelly Cuoco, that's funny.
You know
So they
that
named
one?
that horse Kelly Cuoco. That's good. You know who that is?
No. Oh yeah. The girl from
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, Big Bang
It-
Theory. Yeah.
Well, I thought she was Why? I love Big Bang. One of
Bazinga?
my girls' favorite shows.
Yeah.
Bazinga, yeah. No, man, the show with her and one of my favorite comedians of all time, John Ritter.
Oh.
Yeah, the 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter. You never see that
Wait,
show?
She was in that?
Yeah, she was in that. Oh, dude,
was she,
yeah.
like,
She was
5
like
years
she was
old?
like everybody's wet dream back then. No, she was like a freaking teenager back then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because he was filming that and then he died, right? Like at
Yeah, that
59
was
or
sad.
something. Dude, that was sad.
Bad boys. What you gonna do?
Didn't they redo that show? Aren't they? Isn't it back on? Maybe
Yeah,
not.
probably. There's so many different other types of shows that are just
There
like
are like these days. That's right. But that was the first one. You can go back to 1990, 1992 or whatever. That Unsolved Mysteries. Those were the first kind of like reality. I guess Cops is more of the reality live type show. I grew up on that crap.
Hell yeah. What I'm actually gonna
So-
do is I'm gonna put this race in the Discord.
And see if people like it.
No, I'm just gonna put it there so I don't have to set a calendar alert. I'll just know where it is. But yeah, this will be the next race that we're in. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, there's really no shot that we can be like, hey guys, here's the 3 races we're trying to join. What race do you guys think? Nobody's gonna have a freaking clue. So
Well, that's why I would rather yield to you because you kind of have a good idea. Obviously, you can't be perfect every time, but you certainly have been doing really well so far. So
yeah, I'll put that link in there so I have it. I'll jump in there and register them when the time comes.
all righty.
But yeah, it's gonna be a good race for him. Like I said, if we force him into a race tomorrow, not only are we gonna have just some weird ass races to pick from, it's gonna screw us going into the next day because if we join that on the 5th, now we can't race until 3:10 on the 6th, right? So the only way it would really work, it doesn't work at all. If one of these races would have been at like 3 o'clock or earlier,
Right.
we could have joined this one and then joined
And then the next one, right.
the next day at
The next
3:10.
day.
It could have gone back to back, but not gonna be likely here.
Have you tested resting? Like, does it matter?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of horses get injured. I mean, listen, we could always look into that too because I'm not really opposed. I'll never run my fillies with the potential for injury ever.
Right.
I will never put my filly in a race if they can get hurt because I don't
No,
want
it's
the
not
injury
worth
on the
it.
record. They send it
Exactly.
down. They send it down to the bloodline, the genetics. I don't need that injury bug
No.
in any of my baby horses. So now colts, on the other hand, certain colts I will run. Goodfella I won't. Cramden I won't. But honestly, if it was like 22 hours for a race for drop zone, I wouldn't really be opposed. It would be a damn shame though to lose the perfect record at 11 furlongs to an injury. Like that would just
It would suck, especially
would
this
suck.
early.
So.
I don't think that's worth it at this point.
And I don't even know if that's possible tomorrow. So I mean, you figure the race on the 6th is at 3:10. So we'd have to be in a race tomorrow. Would have to be at least maybe it would be. Basically, you have to be in a race by 7 o'clock p.m. So 7 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. I mean, we could. If we really want... I mean, he's on such a streak. If we really didn't care... But there would be so many different things that we'd be trying.
I mean, I say we just stick with what we know is doing well right now. mean, if you think taking a risk is worth it, like I said, and like Bruin was saying, I'm sure everyone is totally okay deferring to you, and that's the best way to go. So,
It's
if
a
there's something
strong-
you're trying,
It's a strong risk. I mean, it's we could potentially lose the horse to a claim. Because that we can't join the 9 furlong race. I was thinking if we could join the 9 furlong and maybe we lose
Right.
the 9, and then we still have the 11 open, that would be okay. But the only thing we'd be able to do is actually join this claiming race, which it's 10 furlongs, still chance of rain. Higher chance of
Right.
rain than I'd like. So we could, have the wrong distance, could be running on a wet track, and could potentially lose the horse. So
Yeah, that's the thing. If it's a wet track, could that potentially be an injury right there?
no,
No, that won't cause.
you can only get injured if you run your horse, but before the 24-hour
24
period.
hours. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's worth it.
Do the jockey silks and numbers change colors every race, or is it permanent? Yeah, it's randomly drawn. Every race, you're randomly drawn into a stall or a post position. Although it seems like with drop zone, it seems like we've been getting the inside a lot.
Yeah, we don't wanna
lose the horse, Bruin. But I mean, it would. If you lose it in that race, you made $1,000, or the horse sold for $1,000. I don't think drop zone would ever command $1,000 on the marketplace.
No. Could you buy? You can't even buy a filly for 1,000, can you?
You can get a filly right now for 1,000.
So you could turn it into a breeding machine.
Well, you could turn it into a breeder. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be a machine or any good, but
Right.
me and my uncle just bought another filly the other night because I just can't stop shopping for horses. Cost it was already running. Like it was 2 years old, able to run, but they never ran it yet. And it was my buddy Gooch who I bought it from. I didn't even know at the time it was his horse. And apparently they had like a sister barn, like a subbed out they were gonna run, kind of how we were gonna do with the Skin and Bones.
Oh, right.
But now with the whole new KYC terms of service shit, like we have to run everything out of my barn. Like there is no.
You can't transfer. You can't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, there is no any of that. Because if we do that, then we got a KYC, and we can't KYC the Skin and Bones account. You know what I'm saying? And we get locked up, and horses are fucking locked out. It's just gonna be a bad time. So
No, not good.
plus, I do everything out in the open on stream, so I can't really run 2 barns and have somebody else KYC it, and then it's just gonna be a blatant abuse of terms of service right there.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I'm not gonna do that out in the open. So now if I didn't stream, if we didn't do shows and I wasn't hosting the official shows with them, I mean, yeah, I'd probably run 2 fucking barns. I wouldn't care. But like I said, it doesn't really change anything except we can't run the silks that I made because I made the logo with the S&B and everything on it. So
Right. Yeah, you were saying, but that's not a big.
well, I'm going to put in a request to the team. Like, listen, if you guys don't want us running multiple barns, then how about letting us have, like, when I enter a horse for a race, how about you let us have, like, 3 different options? You know what I'm saying? For, what's it called? I have, like, 3 different options for, like, silk colors. Like,
Right.
I'm running this horse as part of my Bigfoot stable. So I run my basic with the Bigfoot and the pink and blue. Or this one's for the Skin and Bone Syndicate, so it's got that with the red, blue, and white. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you could switch it around.
jockey silk colors. Well, like I said, they
Pink. What's
Well-
up, Dean?
technically they change. Some of them change based on the horse color in real life. In our game, yeah, the jockey colors actually don't change, but they should. Like the horse silks change based on the number. We're always black, blue, and pink because those are my barn colors.
Yeah.
But we were supposed to, like I said, we originally talked about moving drop zone out to another barn, taking any babies that we get from other horses and moving them, for the syndicate. But like I said, with the new terms of service updates as of 3 days ago, we will not.
Did you know that was going to happen, or was that?
Oh, I told you it was coming. I told you. That's why I was like, I'm so skeptical, sketchy about moving my shit to another barn, because people are just blatantly taking advantage of basically robbing money from the team in broad daylight. So I knew it was gonna. It was only a matter of time before it got the kibosh.
Right.
Now again, they're reaching out to people. They're warning them first. So even someone like me, I'm sure they wouldn't have banned my account immediately. But the fact that I would just be blatantly doing out in the open would just not be a good look for me, them, or anybody else. So
I get that. Moral
of the story: if we're gonna run the syndicate, we're gonna have to run it through my barn, unfortunately. So
it doesn't sound unfortunate to me. I mean, I certainly, like you said, to get involved in KYC in another account, or even if somebody in the group wanted to go start it and do it's just not, it's no good. It's just better to have one person who can kind of run the whole thing.
Right, exactly. So we'll be all right. And like I said, I can still run it from a different syndicate. That's not a problem. But
can you pull? Oh, is this drop zone? Okay, yeah. There you go. Because he was asking.
But there's other perks too. So for instance, if we took a colt and moved it to Skin and Bones, and then we were going to breed it with one of my fillies to breed it,
right?
We can't run a breeding report on it.
Wait, because it's in your...
Well, I guess for the colt, as long as your colt is on the stud market, we could do it. But if there was ever a filly that we wanted to run, a test on with the 1,000 breeding reports or whatever,
right?
I mean, you have to pay. So, as far even like racing reports, like as far as like how fast did they run the quarter, how fast did they run the half? I mean, because I have 20 profile pictures, I basically get all that shit for free. Instead of paying $5 for a race report, $50 for a breeding report, I don't pay for any of that shit. So
right.
And it's not any special treatment for anyone's like, no, if you own a certain amount of PFPs,
right? If
you own 5, you get free racing reports. If you own 20, you get free breeding reports.
Do you want to show what those look like? Can you show?
Yeah.
That way they can.
I had the breeding reports. Yeah, probably have a racing report somewhere. But these are the breeding reports. So basically tells you if you take Serenity now with Grail Mary, this is the range of stats you're going to get all the way down the board. So imagine not having this info. You would be breeding blind and have to wait 90 days before you find out if it even remotely worked.
Right. And obviously the gray is the more potential.
This is like the more average, chart, kind of how it would look. So you'd have like a higher stamina, higher finish. But the stats could go all the way up to the edge of the bar itself, not actually the gray area. So you could get a horse that has it all the way here and here. Can I annotate with this? No, I can't. But yeah, so basically if you had a horse that got like all the way at the edge of the line here on finish, all the way at the edge of the line here on stamina, but then all the way at the bottom of
I was going to say, you could have something lower on the on one of the other traits, right?
Like that could really fuck your shit up, because you'll think you have like a killer horse. He might be like a S plus or an S or something like that, and you don't realize he's actually got a B plus start.
Right.
Like that couldn't happen. That couldn't happen in the original horses. The worst horses would still have like, let's say you were an A plus, you wouldn't have lower than an A minus. Like it would be 2 grades lower as like the worst of the worst.
Yeah, but by doing this, you also have the potential to go higher than you would have before, right?
Correct.
So, I mean, give and take a little bit. If
you
get
absolutely.
Lucky, if you get lucky in the positive, 1 out of 3 chances, that could be a really big boost.
Yeah, and that's what's nice about, again, having the reports and stuff like that. Like, I could basically just run this for my filly on 10 different, colts, and just take an average of like, what does this whole graph look like, right? Like, what's the shape of it? This one's more, heavy on the middle, so it's got the stamina finish, going to be more of a long range runner. Like, this is what I would expect Drop Zone. I would expect his breeding report to look like this. But it doesn't. We looked at his breeding report.
Yeah, we did. We did that yesterday.
It's not even anything like the way he runs. So, yeah, who was that? That was first of the month who I bred that with. Yeah, see? Look at this.
Right.
So if I showed this to anybody in Photo Finish and I say, okay, tell me 90% of the time what kind of horse is going to come out of this, and they'd be like, oh, I'd put money on a Sprinter any day of the week. That's what most people would say looking at this.
And that's what you thought, right? That's what you first tried him.
Exactly. So obviously what happened here is he's got the higher edge of these gray boxes on the first two. He's clearly above the gray box here because he's an A horse running 10 furlongs, which means it's got to be at least the A to A plus range. It's got to be. And then even finish. I mean, he's got good finish too. So
really,
this is probably
right?
Even this is probably a little higher. And then heart, it seems like his heart is probably higher than the average here too. So I don't know. If I had to guess, when we retire this horse, it's probably going to be like A plus. Clip that. We can watch it back 3 months from now or whatever the hell we retire him. But
see if you were right, if you predicted it right. But that sounds about right. By the way, if you guys want to join the syndicate for next month, we're going to have another horse. We already have Mo has a couple picked out. But yeah, join the Discord and go in there. Go into the what is it? Oh, I don't have it up. The syndicate info section and put in there if you want to join. And it's going to be $30 this month, and that gets you the horse in 1 month of racing. And then we'll determine what we're going to do after that. But yeah, we probably should get some type of just form just to let everyone know like what the rules are and all of that stuff. Probably would be prudent. But yeah, if you're interested in like not only learning by just watching us, which we've talked about how sometimes it could be a little dry, but if you're actually paying attention and racing, you're going to be able to do this on your own, and hopefully you'll get excited. And we'll have a lot more people joining Photo Finish Live, which I've been seeing a lot of tweets that there's been just a lot of movement in the project.
Crazy,
yeah,
man.
It is crazy.
It's absolutely, like I said, we started doing this, man, a year ago. Like, we've been doing this for a year now. It's coming up on a year this week.
That's crazy, yeah.
So I remember a year ago, I was sitting here with my uncle, looking at horses and being like, man, $1,000 for like the shittiest horses, man. I mean, you remember Solana was so high for a long time. Like, Solana was like $200, and horses were going for like, freaking 7 Solana was like a bargain. You know what I mean? So it was like $1,400 to get like the shittiest of horses, man. And then obviously when prices started to come back down a little bit from crypto crashing and all that crap, and then I decided to come in when I paid for my first horse. Like, I paid like $300 for the Boy Named Sue, the B ticket. It was a B horse though, because I was like, all right, well, let's just get our foot in the door. Like we always talk about, get your foot in the door. All right, we didn't have money for an A, an A plus, none of that shit. And we got him a Boy Named Sue, and then from there it was kind of like, all right, well, let's start streaming some shit.
Right.
Start calling some races, and from there the team basically just tried to help me as best as I could. Early on, but we didn't have much of an audience at the time, right? Because I was always doing production work. I didn't really stream too much, besides like a decade ago when I amassed a couple thousand on Twitch, right? But like, I didn't really stream. So it's kind of like, well, how the hell do we get, some eyes on the project? And that's when we brought Vault in. Vault was good for viewership. Obviously, he had the, subscriber count.
Right.
I thought he, enjoyed the game, which is why I really was always gung ho on doing it with him. But at the end of the day, I mean, he was just didn't have the brain capacity to do it, with VV and all the other stuff. So yeah, but I mean, you weren't even around. I remember you kind of popping in during night.
I would pop in. It's even still like, trying to find the time at night. And of course, back then, that's when I was making 3 videos a day, my shorts, and they were taking forever. But which is exactly why, for me, I'm no longer doing like the VV content. I haven't done a VV video since, I don't know, an Iron Man comic months ago, I think. So focusing on this, and the live streams are easy. I don't have to like prepare for that. So this, obviously we got the Cryptoids, but ready to do more. I want to get more involved on the nights. Obviously that's a little bit harder because obviously Shelby Cobra and I, like, that's when she can hang out. She works a real job. So, but yeah, I do like the fact now that there's races during the day, and we've talked about Saturdays and trying to get that all worked out. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about this, and I do want to do more. And of course we have Joyride now, and then we have Drop Zone, and then we're going to have something else next month. And, maybe Shelby and I will get our own horse and maybe go down that route too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said the other night. There was a 2-year-old filly on the market. Me and my uncle was sitting here. And, we've done pretty well. Dice Man's been winning. Our other horse, Odds on Lightning, had a really good career. Once he kind of went over the age, the 5.5 peak of the age. Once he hit that, though, he can't run shit anymore. It's sad. But,
right.
That's what's going to happen with these horses. You know what I'm saying? Like, 99% of people will not give a flying shit. They'll be like, I have no attachment to these horses. I don't care. It is what it is. And that's fine. And I'll get it. But when it comes to me, the amount of time, the research, that majority of the horses that are in my barn right now started off as nothing more than a dot on my spreadsheet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Of like, where can I breed this horse? How can I go? How can I put this plan together? So, for me, it's going to be a lot bigger. But I also have much grander goals, you know what I'm saying, I think, than everybody else here. I mean, I'll be breeding 24 fillies minimum by January.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty much my main goal. So,
yeah, I mean, the breeding aspect, especially right now, that's a good way to get some good returns and build up, right?
If your horses are winning.
Yes.
If the mom's producing winning children, and I feel like, selling babies in this game is a no-brainer.
But even if they're not that great, you're still going to sell a filly for...
Well, for right now, yes. Yeah. But I feel like those days are going to be short-lived eventually.
Oh, of course.
Like, the bottom line is, if I breed Weekend Moderator with Steps Kiss and get the worst possible version, and it's a filly, I'm going to still 20x my money. Like, I can put that up for $200, and there will be a mad dash to buy that, no matter what the record is, no matter what. Just because, like you said, well, people can breed from it. They can start their own barn. They might see something in the horse that you didn't see. There's a horse that my buddy Mike owns. Mike Sowers from Tombstone. Shout out to Mike. Owns Diablo, one of my favorite colts in the game. And, like, this guy, he made a quick decision on a horse that was early on. He put him up. I don't know if he sold him or he put him in a claiming race. He did something, but it's basically he lost the horse. He realized that the horse was a later peaker. It just had no anything in the beginning. And then like 3 weeks into the career last month, at 2.5 years old, 2 3/4, this thing just started like fucking firing. And now he's watching it going, oh man, like that's what I thought it was going to do. And he realized he kind of needed that in his barn, and he let it go too early. So he actually paid $500 over what he sold it for
to get it
back.
Oh, wow.
Which is smart, because he could have spent the time and bred it over and over and over again, but now he's got to wait months on months on months on months, and he's got to pay the breeding fee every month, right? So he's like, fuck it. It already did what I thought it was going to do. I basically paid $500 for data,
Right.
But it looks like and sounded like this is really, really good data for him. So I'm totally on board with him doing that, man. Like I would do that, you know. So I mean, not that I have that money like that to throw around, but you know,
Well, you certainly got a good thing going here, and now we got this. Maybe we can get some other people, and you know, keep this going, because that's what it's gonna take. Did you say that we're getting close to? I think you said you had to get out. I probably should start getting ready too,
yeah,
just because I got a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, it's like 1-ish, 10 after 1 the latest. So.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, so I mean, you know, if you have a successful Philly, and people will know because all you gotta do is click on the tab, you know.
Right.
And you know, my Philly Steps kids not only bred an A Philly who went 7 for 23, which I know for a Philly is actually pretty damn good because Phillies typically run weaker. But then she bred McFly the month after, who's 5 for 7. This guy's killing it. I love this horse so much. So I'm saying people are gonna look at this. So why wouldn't they buy a Philly out of this horse? You know,
Right.
I sold this colt immediately when I saw this horse came out of colt the other day or last week. I was like, oh yeah, no, I don't want a colt. I put this thing up for what I put up for 70 or 64,000 Derby, $800 basically,
Wow.
and it sold like almost instantly for a colt, an S minus colt.
Wow.
Because I know I had no interest in running an S minus colt anytime soon from this bloodline. I already have Goodfella. I already have Crandon. It cost me $30 to $40 a fucking race for those guys.
Right.
So I don't need 3 of those every day, right? Like, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I was like, boom, sold. You know, and I'll probably do the same thing again this month if it's a colt. I have McFly. Like, McFly is my proof that she'll breed good colts or any, good anything. So I'll keep selling the babies from her until I get the filly that's like an S minus filly. That's what I really want. Then I'll probably sell Steps Revenge and shut down the S minus filly and start working my way up the, you know what I'm saying, the ladder.
Yeah, I got you.
And that's just kind of give you a little bit of insight. It's kind of how like build a barn.
Yeah, because we talked about that. Yeah, where you get a filly, then you breed it. Maybe you get another filly, and you decide, do you keep it to keep breeding, or do you sell it? And at that point, I'd be like, let's breed again. And then the next time you get a filly, you sell that. Then you're continually building up. You know, 1, 2 filly, then 3, and then you're producing one that you can sell. You know.
Well, ideally, that's the plan, right?
Right.
I mean, again, my boy Ricky is a perfect example. Came into this game with $0. We put a fantasy football lineup in. We won like a $3,000 filly.
It's crazy.
And we bred it immediately. First thing that popped out was a filly. We sold it for like $850, and then the horse got resold for $1,650. And now it's back on the market for like $2,500. And I wouldn't be surprised if it sold there too as an A+. But the point is, we sold it quick because we had the other filly that came out right after it. That's actually when we sold the first filly. We bred it. We bred back-to-back months, and we didn't sell it right away. Then we got another filly, and then prices started skyrocketing. So we were like, all right,
I
you know what?
remember that, right?
Yeah, I was like, yo, you want to get in profit? Now's the time. You know, same thing with my uncle, right? Like, me and him got a filly. We were able to sell it for $400 because the parents had 0 wins combined. I sold it for $400, right? And then I think that horse even resold again for like $750. And the parents have 0 wins combined. You know? So, yeah, there is value in fillies. But, like B.E. was saying, if you start getting 1, 2, 3, like my boy Ricky now is up to 3 fillies. And he's up a couple $100 on photo finish.
Right.
Now, I don't charge him for racing. Same with my uncle and them. I don't really charge, like, you know, when it comes to, like, racing fees, I'm not like, oh, I raced $60 this month, guys. Like, because with my uncle, we have a horse that basically covers the shitty ones, as far as the way I see it. Like, Dice Man will be up, like, $200 right now, but the other horses are shit in the bed. So they'll basically suck up the money. And then, same with my barn, right? It's usually the same type of thing. Like, one of my horses will carry 3 or 4 other ones.
Right.
Until I decide that those other ones aren't really worth even running anymore. You know, which will happen. You know, I'll get to the point probably in a few months where I'm only running my top quality horses. And maybe I own the other horses, but I'm not even racing them. Maybe I race them in claimers for a couple $100, or who knows. And I'm sorry if this sounds like a weird brag, but I'm just trying to explain to you guys how we built things from the ground floor, because I've come into this fucking game with very minimal money. I just happen to have a lot of things that I can do in my life day to day to help people, and I'm an asset. So, always network with people. If you have things where you can barter in the community and say, hey, I can do this for you, what can you do for me? Do it. Because you could potentially put together a fucking, a barn worth God knows how much money at this point. So
Right. Well, you put together something really nice, and like you said, you're not just guessing, you're spending time actually learning, watching races multiple times. So and I want to do that too when maybe one of these times when you're going through and watching a race 3 times, we can do that while we're streaming and just kind of pick your brain, like what you're looking for, all of those things, because we're all going to want to know how to do that.
Well, that's why we do it. We did it a little bit yesterday.
Right. Yeah.
And this is why I say, like, I know you want to make the pre-recorded content, like the horse in the race stuff, but the horse in the race to me is going to be the segment where we focus on our horse in the race. Like, and I'll do an overlay for it, but because like, it's going to be boring as hell if I'm just sitting there watching the race with you.
Right.
Like, unless you really just become like a fucking horse guru and start unlocking like Pandora's box of like questions and shit to ask. Like, I don't really know unless I just do what I do now and I do like a boring, monotone kind of like seminar on what the hell's happening.
Right.
But when people are in chat, I feel like it's easier because they might just have a random question you didn't even think of. Like,
no, absolutely. No, I agree. And as we get more people in these syndicates, we'll get more questions and stuff like that for sure.
Well, yeah, and a lot of questions are always going to be the same, though. I've already started building an FAQ.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to need one in the syndicate info section. Like, what does my 10% get me?
Yes, totally.
What rights do I have here? How do I join a race? How do I get a horse of my own? Like, these simple questions that people seem to ask a lot.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're not simple. They're not simple questions. They're simple to me.
They're simple to you because you've been answering them in your head for a while. But yes.
I eat, sleep, breathe, photo finish again since last October. Everything else in my life has taken a back seat. So,
exactly. Right.
And if I can get my barn, if it's not already to 6 figures of value, that's what I want.
Heck yeah. To answer the Bruin question, he says, so the saddle horse color for Drop Zone is green with the gold.
Yeah.
And the crown logo. Does that change?
No, the color
That's always
for
going to be the same.
The saddle horse color is, when you're looking at it here, it's always going to be green. Yeah. But
does a jockey change that if you get a blue jockey? Is that change, or is that always going to be the same?
Well, no, because when you run the race, you'll see here. It's like in real life, it's the color of the horse and the number.
Okay.
I don't know if we ever actually get maybe here. Oh, it's a live race. I can't do it to a live race. Bring up any pre-recorded race. Oh, that is also not a good angle for it. Maybe somewhere here. Let's see if we can do this. Maybe pause it. Right there. Oh, and I forgot it does that when I come out. Really is hard to see this, isn't it? Yeah. It's just basically if the jockey is red, like if the horse color, like every number in horse racing is always the same. So 1 is always red, 2 is always white, 3 is always blue, 4 is yellow. Like that never changes. So anytime you see the numbers in a horse race anywhere in the world, well, I guess Australia, they are the same color, silk. But yeah, these colors here on the side for the number are always the same.
Okay.
Pink, 8 is always pink. 10 is always purple. So that will change on the horse every race. Still, like I said, I mean, interested as to why, maybe how I look at races and why things didn't work out. We'll do this and then we'll get out of here. if I were to look at this race and say, why didn't we win this race the way we've been winning lately? Now, again, you're not going to... I know Dice Man how he runs, better than you. You know how Drop Zone runs by now, almost.
Right.
So I always like to stop the race here and say, okay. Did he get out the gate? Yeah, he got out the gate. He's up here. He's the 4 horse, okay? So he's running up here. Now, I don't like when he runs out to the front. I kind of want to be where the 10 horse is, or where the 11 horse is right now. That's where I want to be.
Just kind of pacing, right? You're pacing. You're not spending all your energy. Just
it's called stalking the pace. Stalking the pace is good because in real horse racing, the 4 horse and the 9 horse are racing each other out.
Right.
So these two basically exert all their energy, and then it basically sets up the race for these horses back here.
Right.
Because they have been racing each other out 1v1. That's why horses wear blinkers or blinders. You'll hear them talking about that. It's to kind of like shield off the vision, so that the horses won't see other horses come flying up.
Right.
Like right here. This is not a thing, by the way, but it could be. Right here. In real horse racing, this Dice Man, the 4.
Right.
You might put blinkers on this horse, because maybe he got spooked right here when these other horses came up. Horses will get spooked, and then they'll kind of like and they fly back in the pack, and look what happens. Boom. It actually did. In a real world scenario, that would be like the horse probably wants blinders, or. But you see how he slides all the way back here?
Right, he did, yeah.
Like, that's never what you want, right? I said I wanted to be the 10 or the 11 before. And you might say to yourself, well, why? You're still in better position than the 11. You're not, though. Because you slid back, and now the 11 was just kind of chilling. And now look at the head start the 11 has.
That's exactly right, because the 11 can now pick up and boost, right?
Right, where the 4 had to slow down.
Yes.
And then reverse course and now gain momentum back the other way, right?
It's like human racing, right? You kind of stay with the pack and then
exactly.
Then you want to kind of run at the end. So there you go.
So that's a kind of good breakdown. Yo, what up, superstar? Yeah, man.
Hey, what's
Joe,
going on,
did you watch today's race, Joe? I know you weren't here earlier, but I'm sure.
Why don't you play it real quick and then we can get out? Because I am going to have to get out to go to the doctor. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Joe. Thanks for dropping by. He's a jockey. He does need a jockey get up.
I have one. Not really a big fan of it. I like my suit. All right, this is us here. So we got to go to no spoiler replay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thanks, Joe. Good to see you, man. Good to be back. Yeah, watch this, and then, like I said, we're gonna have to get out of here. Got to dodge.
Yeah,
this you'll like this. No spoilers though.
Correct. And thanks again, Joe, for. I'm always assuming it's Joe. He always says that it's him on the YouTube, but on Twitter, I'm assuming it's him too. Appreciate you guys grabbing the gold NFT, man.
Yeah,
the gold logo.
Cool. Thanks.
Really appreciate that. I hope you didn't feel like obligated. I said I was going to buy a Starboy because I like your guys' colors to begin with. And I was like, man, it's the one with the hat. Because I've been looking for like a week. And I was like, oh, man, it's the one with the hat. I was like, I got to get a hat anyway. So there we go. Now I got the hat and my colors. Yep. That's right. Super limited on the gold. We'll never make those again.
And now we're both Starboys. That's cool. We were going to do that, and then they sold out. So then you had to go buy it on the aftermarket.
There's only 10. Hey, man. Thank you. Like I said, we really appreciate it. And like I said, they do look really, really nice in spatial and stuff like that. So hopefully, should be able to pull them right into the BBverse. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, then we might be in business.
Good. Keep an eye now. Here's the race.
Yeah. So right now, I mean, we can't get used to winning all the time, Joe. You know, we've kind of talked about this. But
we wish.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of doing his normal move, though. You know, he's kind of sitting off the pace, right? He's letting the one horse just kind of tire himself out. But normally by now, I feel like we'd be in front, you know, and this is what if you want to go back and watch the stream, we kind of talk about it real time a little bit. But
Yeah, I mean, it's just nuts.
Thorns like VE, exactly. But I mean, right here again, I mean, this is just typical drop zone at this point, right? Like,
Right.
hits 8, 9 furlongs, and look at the rest of the horses. They're all going backwards. And then you got drop zone who's like, yep, I'm not even tired yet. Like, I haven't broken a sweat. Now, coming down the stretch here, man, I mean,
It got a little sketchy.
right there, when the Paul made that little burst at 10 furlongs, I was
getting worried because he was coming on, but it was just not enough.
yeah, I mean they would have had to come pretty hard for that to work, but I don't even know how I could have said it any differently without sounding weird, but he would have had to made a better move, let's say, to do that. The domination, how do we sell his babies? So that's the tricky part here, Joe. We might get people that come in to breed for $50 at a clip when we retire him. I don't have a filly to breed him with. I just don't. They're related. So
yeah, we were talking about this because I asked the same thing, how do we do it? But right now,
it would be inbreeding. What we could potentially do,
downgrading too.
Yeah, no matter which, even if I waited for this one to become older, I mean they still share the bloodline. So
we'd have to buy. We've talked about buying. Well, if we wanted to buy another one, that would be a little bit more expensive. But we did talk about it.
Yeah, it would be expensive to buy a filly. And I'm almost in agreement here. Where at first I'd be like, well, let's not jump to any conclusions here about buying a filly to match drop zone. But the more I watch this horse run, he likes 11 furlongs. I'm sure he's gonna like 10. And I mean,
and we saw a race he might have won if it was 12.
Yeah, well, I think he. I don't even think that 3-horse would have caught him at 12 furlongs on that. I think that 3-horse was kind of evening out anyway at the end of the race.
Right.
But just for people that know, man, like the virtual Kentucky Derby runs left dirt at 10 furlongs. So maybe if I was maybe able to reach out to somebody that has an S- filly, not buy the filly itself, not buy the horse, and just say how much to rent, the use of the womb for 1 month. I would probably want to do that instead of just having us buy a filly. Unless we were to say, hey, you know what? We like drop zones so much. Match it with a filly and just breed them together every month.
Right.
Yeah, you basically pay for the sex. Exactly. Right. There's definitely some thoroughbred hookering going on.
Yeah, we find a whore and we do it.
You know what I'm saying, though? So it's like, that would probably be the better option, because, listen, to get a filly to match this horse, because it is the virtual Kentucky Derby, style of runner, to get a filly to match this that we would actually have to breed up would probably cost us $4-5 grand right now, and that's not even... I don't even think that's an exaggeration. Like I said, the better solution is probably find someone that'll do it for like $500. Charge $500 for the womb, or they might even charge more than that if I'm thinking about it. But and then basically you get one shot. You breed drop zone into it, you get one attempt. If it comes out a filly, we just hit freaking payday.
Right.
If it comes out a colt, I mean, if it runs like drop zone, we're still probably in good shape. We'll make our money back at least, and then run, have like a championship runner potentially. But if it turns out to be a mediocre colt, I mean, we might get fucked. So I don't know. Well, we'll see. Well, like I said, we got to play it by ear. Right now, the plan is just kind of race them out. And obviously, this month we have to, and then basically race them through the October meet. So like a week before Thanksgiving is probably gonna be the first time we even have like any type of decision to make. So, right. If a horse came up on the market between now and then that would match it, we can consider it. We'll talk about it. I know a lot of us in this syndicate aren't poor, so it's not like we're dealing with fucking peanuts. You know what I mean? So A lot of us make content, have jobs, you know what I mean, to kind of pay for some of this degenerate shit. Because a lot of my buddies in the real world, it's kind of like, you know, basically working to pay the bills. And these guys don't come in with that money to be like, oh, yeah, you know, $250 each, you know,
Right.
$2,500, like, easy. Because, I mean, I'll slap my dick on the table right now and throw $250 at a Philly if we had 10 people to do it, to matches. I would do it. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. We'll play it by ear.
Well, we could also put out some feelers in the Discord too. By the way,
But that's what I'm saying, yeah. So we'll let you run. You got a doctor appointment. I got my girl coming out here today. We got some shit going on.
Cool.
We definitely need a silk jacket with the barefoot NFT. That would be dope.
That would
I
be
have the
cool.
logo done as a 3D. I also have our syndicate logo done as a NFT too. Some of those we'll use for giveaways. Some of them will, obviously, if you're in the syndicate, you're gonna get one. I mean, let's just get that out of the way. And then I'll probably just put them up for like $5 or some shit on the market, and just, you know. But we'll like customize the ones for the syndicate. You know, have the horse's name on it, stuff like that. So, yes, V, go do your deliveries. Hit your appointment.
Right. Yep.
Any final words before we get the hell out of here?
Well, thanks for everyone for joining. We'll have more stuff coming out soon. We're gonna Mo's probably gonna pick up a race here a little bit later today. Definitely check Discord if you want to join next month's syndicate. Go ahead and hit that link to the Discord and go to the syndicate info and let us know if you're interested in joining a different horse, not Drop Zone, that's already filled up. So we're going to continue doing this and learning, and hopefully eventually you guys will start your own barn. But this is a great way to learn. And Mo, thanks for having me on and doing this. This is a lot of fun. I'm glad we won today. That was cool. And yeah, I'm going to be off to a doctor's appointment. So I guess you take us out and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Well, good luck with the appointment. It's kind of weird because when I stream on my own with my own horses, I never win on stream. But Drop Zone just doesn't really seem to care. So good for him. He's not shy. But yeah, appreciate everybody that came out. B will get up. Like I said, I got some shit going on later, but I may fire up the stream again around 7:30ish. And I have a bunch of races to close out tonight. And the girl usually heads out early because she's got to get up for work. So I might fire back up just to get the other races on stream. So other than that, appreciate you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channels, wherever the hell you are. Follow on Twitter, join the Discord, yada, yada, yada. Be kind, rewind, and see you soon. Peace.
Peace out.